I don't know, man. I it's been a minute, and what if I stink now? What if I just what if I'm totally washed? What if I just stink it up out there, Joe?
That'd be pretty funny, to be fair.
Yeah, that's a good point. What do you
You'll be
think
fine.
if
You'll
this
be fine.
review bombs, right? Or this
Hmm.
podcast, if it bombs, do we just pretend it never happened and I just like disappear again?
You should.
That's yeah, Anna's right.
Oh no, definitely.
Anna, since nobody's watching, right, and we're not live yet,
Uh-huh.
just admit it. You missed me, didn't you?
No.
Okay, all right, that's fair. That's fair. Did you do the eat before we asked that? Did you do the eat when you were in the building?
No, I did not.
Okay,
There is no proof of it, so it didn't
right,
happen.
right. Got you, got you.
Mhm.
You definitely
I
did the
did
whoa.
not. I didn't do anything.
You sure?
Guys, I'm literally in the lobby of my hostel right now. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I still don't know what a hostel is, but
You're so American.
I guess so. All right. Well, hopefully I don't stink it up out there. It's a multi-person, so I'm sure Rob will carry me. So
Oh no, definitely.
I forgot how to do this thing,
Always.
but I'll snap in the phone when I hear the music. So Rob, hit the countdown. Let's do this fucking thing. It's over. Leave me alone. What
That
in
was
God's name was that?
what's happening.
I've
Dude,
never
you've never
no.
seen that.
What is that?
You've never
Oh
seen
no.
that video?
No. Why did it show me as Heyman twice?
Yo, yeah,
That's
yo. So,
crazy.
so I'm, yo, so I'm. We're sitting here doing the Raw review last week, right? Like just talking, just having a
Yeah.
conversation,
Uh
and then
huh.
all of a sudden, Monty came in and played that video, and I was, yo, it was mid me. So every time he's done it though, I've been checking like rundowns for like the
Mm-hmm.
shows that I'm reviewing, and he just
Right.
plays that video out of nowhere, and it scares the shit out of me. I thought you seen it. I thought you made it. To
No.
be honest.
No. I don't
Well,
watch you guys' podcasts. Come on. Like, what do
yeah, you
you?
don't.
Come on.
You. Oh yeah, I forgot. You don't watch the product. I'm sorry.
No, I never watched it.
You don't watch the
Well,
product.
nevertheless, we are live now, folks. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a special edition of WrestlePurists Worldwide. It's a special we're doing tonight. Later than usual, obviously. Monday Night Raw already is in the books, guys. It was in Brussels, Belgium today. Um, Already in the books. We have some talking points. We're going to talk about pro wrestling. Obviously, your lead topic today is John Cena, who made his official live in-ring segment debut since turning heel at Elimination Chamber. We'll talk about his segment, his promo with Cody-Rhodes. And honestly, from that point, folks, we're going to do it as I always done, which is you guys drive the ship. I can do whatever you guys, I can go wherever direction you guys like. So whatever you want to talk about, this is your opportunity now to send super chats and steer the conversation. Ask us any questions you'd like to ask us. Bring up anything you'd like to bring up. Give us your opinions on Raw or whatever's going on in pro wrestling. I've watched a lot of wrestling lately, to be honest with you. So yeah. I'm ready to get into anything you guys want to, and I'm joined by some real close friends of mine in this space. Anna is here, and she's back. She's back from Monday Night Raw. She went, she yeeted, she woed, she chanted for CM Punk. So she's ready to go. She's live, still in Belgium. And I'm also here with my wine brother, Joe Holbert. Joe, it's been a minute. I'm excited to see you. I'm excited to do the show with you. And I'm also here with my co host on the Raw Review, Sir Paragraph, Rob of Self-Made. So I'm really excited for this. And again, guys, make sure to like the video if you haven't liked the video. And please send us super chats if you are so generous to do so. So while you guys are doing that, I'm going to toss it over to Anna. Anna, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Today I had a day. I got stopped by the police because I crossed when there was still like a green light. The
Yeah.
police, he did a full U-turn, okay, and then he parked in the sidewalk in front of me, got out of the car. I was like, oh, sorry. So my morning, and then yeah, I came to Brussels. I went to
Mhm.
Raw. It was great experience, very fun. I did not eat. There is no proof of it.
Mhm.
Now I'm at a hostel, which people doesn't know what it is, but it's
No.
basically like a very cheap hotel that you pay like very little to share a room with strangers in like a bunk bed because it's
My
I had to
God.
stay over. But I'm in the lobby right now. You
So
guys want to see the lobby?
if you're sharing a bunk bed with a stranger, it
Mm.
has to then be courtesy. You can't like be loud then, right? Like you can't like talk loudly on the phone or anything like that, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm in the lobby, not in the room.
Doing a podcast.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is a fascinating concept. We don't have these in the States, right, Rob? We don't do this.
No, we don't do this at all.
Yeah. That's so weird. Well, it's good that you're here, Anna. You didn't miss me, but I missed you. So I'm happy to have
Thank
you
you.
here on Worldwide. And I'm also happy to have Joe Holbert. Joe, how are you feeling, sir? We talked about the payday that we are hoping to get from this this endeavor. Hopefully, it makes this potential shit show worth it. How you doing today?
I was better before that close friend allegation that you led with kayfabe on that, and but I'm good. I watched Raw with the lads on Late Night Green. I prepared. I made notes.
Right.
Watched it back. I'm ready to go. I know this Raw review stuff today is very serious business on this channel. I've been told, so I'm locked in. This is a big occasion and hopefully a good payday. Thank you.
Absolutely. That was. Why did I read
Yeah.
like a political advertisement?
I'm all business here, brother. I'm checking in. I'm checking out. I'm gonna come in. Look, guys. I'll do a couple of high spots for you. There's no balcony dive tonight. It's not happening. I decided against it. I'm here. I'll be here. I'll tag in and out a couple of times.
Cool. I do have a question about the pay. I wasn't announced. Am I still getting paid or not?
Nope.
No.
That's crazy.
No.
Wow, look at my effort over
Yeah,
here. That's
listen,
insane.
my
Anna,
Ebo
wage.
comes
join the
back.
club.
Ebo comes back from one episode, and I'm already like not getting paid anymore.
The
Let's be
game's the
honest,
game,
Anna.
Anna. The
Did I
This
ever
game's the
is
pay you?
game.
insane.
Let's be
Wow.
honest, Anna. Did I
Join
ever
the club.
pay you?
Mm.
I just listen. It's about enthusiasm and effort. It's not about the money.
It's true.
It's not
Paul
about
Heyman
Right.
ass speech, nigga.
Absolutely. Speaking of not about the money, Rob, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great, man. My hero went out there. He didn't stink it up, y'all. My hero went out there and he did his fucking thing. Obviously, this is not gonna be like the most formal Raw review ever. That's probably gonna happen tomorrow. But I'm very, very, very excited for especially since it's my first time on air talking to Ibu in like what 2 months, and I think this is my first episode of Worldwide literally ever. So
Wow.
Wow.
I've
Holy
never
shit.
done World.
The,
I've never done an episode of Worldwide ever.
the house that
Never.
Bing Bong built. Welcome, brother.
Oh my god. Oh my god. It's I've heard great things about this show.
Yeah,
Um,
me too.
so I'm very very
It
I'm
used to
very
I've never seen it, but I've heard good things too.
it used to be pretty good, right, Joe? Like
I
back
don't know. Probably sucked, to be honest. I saw a clip of it earlier and was like, God, this show's terrible. It was like July 23 clip. Pop me.
Oh
Anyway,
my
I'm very excited to talk about this shit.
Can you imagine, Joe? We pitched like a highlight reel like the past. It's like, and here were Manny's bits. It just kind
it
of.
was, dude. It was. I can't remember what account it was, so I apologize. But it was a clip when it was the four of us. Manny was there, and we were talking about Punk or something. I watched it for like 30 seconds. and was like, God, this sucked all along. What was I thinking of?
I remember there's an account, Monet Updates. I want to give a special shout out to Monet Updates.
That's who it was. It was my updates. There you go. Exactly.
So
Yeah.
Monet Updates pops me because this individual, I don't know if it's a boy or girl, so I'm not sure, but this individual, Joe, just like pops himself by going back and watching old WrestlePurists. Like, I guess they discovered the account not that long ago, like our account, and now they just like watch like old WrestlePurists podcasts. So they'll post a clip, and I'll see myself, and it's like 2022 Anna and me and like AO and stuff, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I'll just watch the clips, and it's always fun because like 2022, I look at that stuff and I'm like, man, look at the energy we had here, and then
Man, remember I'm purist. Huh.
Before the road claimed us our souls.
Exactly. Joe has a bad neck now. I'm here for the money. Rob is just kind of kicking it, and Anna's just
I can't walk.
No, it's
No,
good
I'm
stuff.
doing it for the love of the game, and I still don't get paid. You see, WrestlePurists.
EC dub.
I am on knee surgery 20.
That's
Anna, your
crazy.
time will come. Listen, you got to just grab that brass ring. You know what I mean? You got to reach.
I
for
mean,
glass.
the last couple of months were great for me, But then,
Did Monty pay you while I was gone?
of course.
We got to talk about that. I got to talk.
Times they are a changing, boys.
Absolutely, Rob. Are you smoking crack? What's going on in your stream?
No, I just lit an incense, bro. I don't know. I know, like,
Tell me this isn't like
you're cultured individuals.
it's a crazy visual. You know what I mean? Like it kind of cuts off the lower half. You see the smoke. I don't know.
Trust me, if I had it, I would be right now. So,
Are you allowed to do drugs on camera on YouTube?
Yeah, everybody does. Listen, they do cocaine on camera on YouTube nowadays. So I mean, hey, anything's possible.
Well, I do it off cam. So, folks, we're gonna go right into the super chats. So, we'll start this off right now. We'll go through them, and then we'll go into the big talking point of Monday Night Raw after that. So, Rob, take it away, and let's see where the people take us here. Again,
All
folks,
right.
you guys drive the conversation for WrestlePurists Worldwide, and I'm happy to talk about anything that you guys bring up. I watched New Japan this weekend, and so did Joe, surprisingly, on the LNG channel.
I'm back,
Joe
brother.
watched New Japan Pro Wrestling. We're up to date with the New Japan Cup. So, listen, if you want to talk about that, if you want to talk about AEW, whatever it is you guys want to talk about, I'm happy to get into it. It's worldwide, So, take it away, Rob, and let's get right to it.
All right, Dame, $4.99, the first super chat. I saw somebody say the Io Bianca Rhea segment was similar to the Benoit Hunter and Shawn segment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, funny story. The only difference is Triple H was the champion and didn't let himself get beat up.
It is similar. It is similar. I do got to rewatch that segment, because I don't. One of the individuals in that segment, I don't watch it much these days anymore, so I had to kind of refresh my memory on that. But beyond that,
I don't. Yeah, who's that one guy? I don't know who that one guy is.
I mean, I'm aware of him. I just don't really consume his work these days. But
Triple
so
H.
Yeah, he's just his existence is in the front to the business and his catalog. It's just tough to go back. It really is tough, Joe, to turn that footage on and see, Triple H versus Booker T and Triple H versus Kevin Nash. But nevertheless, don't do it, Rob. Nevertheless, I'll say this about the segment: aren't these ladies so fucking cool, Joe?
Oh yeah, very much so.
I just they could have said anything in truth. They kind of did almost just say anything anyway.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. I came to realize they just seeing Bianca standing there looking incredible, and then Io Sky, and they just come off like superstars. And Io is getting the "You Deserve It" chance, and Bianca said whatever the hell she said, and I truthfully don't remember. But they just came off like big time stars. And Rhea Ripley comes out and she's upset and she wants to get in on this business. And Adam Pearce is holding her back, and so are security members. Obviously in this segment, she ended up powerbombing, I believe it was Io onto Bianca Belair or vice versa. But the point is, she inserted herself into this business. She ends up signing her name onto the contract. I don't know if that's legally binding. I don't know if Adam Pearce is going to let that stand. And I don't know if we're gonna just get a triple threat out for that or what. But my big takeaway watching this was just these three feel like the actual big three women of the company. And this feels, is that the lobby music from Hannah's?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, guys.
Is that Lauryn Hill playing?
I don't even know. There was
It is.
There was this Indian couple
hold on.
having a
Are we
full-on
affecting
fight.
monetization?
I had to mute myself. I'm so sorry.
Anna, it's my fuck with her bread. You might have to mute.
If I don't get paid, no one gets paid.
Respect.
All you hear in the background is "Girl, you know you better." But my point is just they come off like stars, and I look at the visual of them, and I'm like, this should main event Mania. So that was just kind of my thing. What did you make of it, Joe?
Yeah, I'm on the same page. Last week's segment I actually thought was well put together.
Right.
with Io kind of, making it clear that she's the champ, whether they like it or not. She's not going to be just like someone they shrug aside. I thought this had the same idea, but with much weaker execution in the sense that I thought this was pretty flimsy in terms of the actual idea they were going for. And the contract thing's lame. But I agree with you, it worked because they're all very, very much over and they come across like stars. I also think Adam Pearce does a great job as GM in the sense that he has no care for like how he comes across. Like he has no part of his brain is like, I need to preserve myself and make sure it looks like I know what I'm doing. He doesn't care, man. He just he just is out of control at every turn, which I appreciate. And I thought he kind of playing the fool allowed the others to shine. So yeah, it was a cool segment in the sense that they all feel like big stars. The actual idea of the segment was pretty weak. We'll see what they do next because I think there are some issues they got to kind of figure out here with what this is going to look like as a feud, but we'll see.
Yeah, so for me, my concerns are not based on the character directions because I like the idea that Rhea Ripley is a bit delusional and kind of losing it, and Bianca is in a different way because she's kind of emotionally scarred because of her situation with her friends, and Neo's the on point wrestler. Like that's fine, and I think like building on that'll be fine. I'm gonna go full Iwu circa Wyatt Six debut, Joe, where I'm just kind of like I'm now the guy who's being anal about like the logic of like, can you just make your way into a match just by signing a contract? Like there should be some way to actually earn her way into it. So like in theory, what should happen is the character of Io should be wanting to take on all comers, and so she should be like, "Yeah, bring her. I don't give a shit," right? And Bianca should also be like, I don't give a fuck. I'll fight too." And Adam Pearce should be the one to go, "That's nice and all, ladies, but this woman didn't earn a shot." And then he should lay out some type of situation for her, some type of obstacle to overcome that she will then do so to then get into the match. So I hope that's what we get here. But Anna, what was the atmosphere like for your girl Io Sky in Brussels?
It was so good. Like she got all like the "you deserve a chance," and every time like there was points that she couldn't even speak because people were just cheering to her so loud. And I saw like a lot of people saying, "Oh, they were booing Bianca. That's so shocking." But because the crowd was just behind Io. So anyone that you would put, I mean, except for Rhea because she's a whole different case. But I feel like anyone you would put against Io in that moment would get booed. It was just like the situation. She was very over. She got the "you deserve a chance." She got like people screaming for her all the time. I was really happy. The thing is, I went to the merch line because I wanted to buy the John Cena socks. They were sold out. And while I'm in the merch line, I start hearing the EO's theme song. So I just run for like the first door I can possibly find, and I just find myself like on the ground floor looking up to EO and be like, "Oh shit, I'm not supposed to be here." But it was such a fast segment as well. I thought it was gonna go way longer than it did. I think everyone was a bit like when it was over, everyone was kind of just like looking around. But I mean, it was a great atmosphere. I'm very happy for Io, and just seeing like people are really behind her makes me really happy because we know she deserves it. Like we've been saying that. I've been like rooting for Io to be champion and to go to even to have a WrestleMania match at all. And the fact that she's gonna go to WrestleMania as a champion, that's amazing. Like I don't know if she's gonna retain it, but let's be very honest. But I hope so. I would love that. But it's Bianca and Rhea, which are probably the two most overpowered women in WWE, except for Charlotte now. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But the pop for Rhea was also like fucking absurd. So it was a really good vibe. Yeah.
Number one, Rob.
Yo. What's up?
Am I losing my mind, or like him with a mask just came out of nowhere? Like I wasn't looking at his screen, and now Rob is Rey Mysterio. So that's
I don't know what you mean. Whoa, first of all, get the name right. It's Toto Americano, first of all.
Is that your name now?
Yes, get the name right. Second of all,
right. Well, so what was the
other question?
So, I'm about to ask you now. So, because Anna brought up a great point. She's talking about the result of this match, and I'm going to ask you, Rob. We're going to get the triple threat. It's going to be Rhea, Bianca, and Io Sky.
Yeah.
Who do you think goes over here? Because Bianca Belair has never lost at WrestleMania, but Io Sky just won the belt a month ago. And then you got Rhea Ripley, who's perennially a push wrestler. She's always yeah, Rob's one of those guys that blames Rhea Ripley for her booking. He's like, Rhea's testing on screen, and Rob's like, why the fuck did she fucking make Triple H make her say that?
I don't know. A simple, hey man, all I know is if Alexa Bliss can say no, Rhea Ripley can say no.
Not
dangerous logic you're working with there, pal.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's a little, but I'll ask you, Rob, who do you think goes over in this match? I feel like you could make a case for those women.
I don't think Io is coming out of this as the winner, sadly.
I don't
because
think either.
it's two women that Triple H loves. There's three women that he loves, obviously, but obviously some he loves more than others. But I think Bianca's WrestleMania streak does need to keep going, sadly. But I don't think Io should be the one that gets pinned. Rhea has won in her last. She won at Mania 39. She did not was. I don't think she was at 38, and she won at 37. So I think Rhea Ripley could take a loss for once and lose to Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. But I don't think Io should get pinned.
So you know what? I was going to move on, but I want to park it here because Joe, what do you think about this? I thought about this a lot, and I feel like Paul Levesque created a scenario where he was able to successfully keep everybody happy because it looks to me like he wanted to give Io a moment, and so she got hers by winning the belt on TV, right? And getting her on the Mania card. So she's on the big stage. And then it's like, okay, then I also keep Bianca happy because she keeps her streak and she'll win the belt as a thank you for being in the tag division and kind of being a second-tier player for about a year. And then how do we keep Rhea Ripley happy? Well, we'll make this a part of her story. So if she gets pinned in the match at Mania, that'll lead to the next stage of development for her. And so I'm kind of looking at it. I don't know what you make of this, but it almost seems like a triangular situation here where all parties will be walking away at least satisfied to some degree because of how they make out of the situation. What do you think of that?
I can see that. Yeah, I think that makes sense what you're describing, especially.
Okay.
I don't know what the developments are about Evolution being a show again this year.
Okay.
But if it is going to be a show, Bianca and Rhea as a singles makes an awful lot of sense, right? And that would also, the finish you're describing makes a ton of sense there. I think it works. You know, I think there are challenges with the dynamic here in the sense that it's three baby faces in a triple threat feud, and you're inevitably, someone has to lean heel. And I think Rhea's dynamic currently is set up to be that person, right? I think it's fair to say. Whether the crowd will go with that is a different question. So this, I don't know. I think there's some challenges with it, but I generally like what you're describing. The match should be killer too, right? We shouldn't gloss over that. I mean, if the match gets a clear opportunity, it could be the best match of the weekend, I think.
I think it'll definitely be the better triple threat on this WrestleMania card for sure.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So good stuff there. Joe raised a great point about WWE with they're lacking some big heavy hitting heels, you know. So
Oh my God, bro! It's thank God for Cena because Jesus, a lot of you niggas.
I guess so. So we'll see how that evolves.
Whoa.
Great super chat. Thank you. We'll talk about John shortly. Dame, thank you so much for the super chat. $5. We really appreciate it. And we got a nice little conversation out of that. So we really appreciate you, Dame. Thank you so much. And thank you for supporting WrestlePurists Worldwide. Darren Cagey, $1.99. Ibu's back. Yeah, I guess. Kind of. Rick of the Line. Thank you, Darren. Rick of the Line, $1.99. What an incredible WrestlePurists moment, fans.
This is WrestlePurists Worldwide.
I'm going to do when the show ends, I'm going to do like a rah-rah speech for the people. We're back and we're not going anywhere. And I'm going to leak to like PW Insider. I'm gone.
No, the opening sequence of this pod, right? You know what it was? It's like when like C plus tier hybrid athletes do like the Osprey opening sequence, right? and then they stand off and wait for the crowd to go like, holy shit. I'm just picturing that with Shivani going, Collision is white hot tonight. So, oh man, Rick, we appreciate you, Rick. Thank you. Annie, take the next super chat.
I feel like they put the song way louder now to try to kick me out. Can you hear it?
No.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, birds are chirping. The rain has stopped. The sky is blue. The king. Welcome home. One each for Anna.
Isaac, thank you. Now I can hear the
Thank
song.
you so much. Yeah, thank you, Isaac. But yeah, the king has returned is a bit crazy. But yeah, this song is going insane right here.
Yo, Isaac, I'm not gonna lie, you're on his dick. I can't lie, bro. Like, what's going on here?
That's a bit much.
Yeah,
Isaac thinks I'm the king, then let me be seen as the king. You know what I'm saying?
You're on his dick.
You know?
I'm trolling.
Yeah, you better be, nigga. I cut your checks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yo.
Hey.
Don't make me expose. Yo.
Hey,
Y'all know when Ibu was doing a lot of things in them New York locker rooms. Not gonna say him right now.
What? What
But
are you
anyway,
talking about?
Sway 199, Yeet Mania running wild. To cry about it. Yo, Ibu, can I take this one? Can I please
Oh.
take this one?
Yeah, go for it.
Yo, I see a lot of WWE fans. Listen, I'm not like a Yeet guy. I'm not a Yeet Mania guy. I'm not a
Fucking
Super J
offensive.
Uso guy.
Fuck.
But you guys on Twitter, the night that he won the Royal Rumble, and the next few days, we're literally sitting there shooting for him winning the Royal Rumble, saying he sells more merch than this guy, and he does this, and he has kids wearing his glasses and wearing his t-shirts, yada. So when when he botches when he botches a tope con hilo now, don't cry now, because this is what you asked for. This is what you shot for. When he won the Royal Rumble, we were the ones sitting here saying this doesn't make sense. I was the one saying at least CM Punk didn't win, thank God. But Ibu was the one sitting here saying it didn't make sense. Joe, I don't remember what Joe's opinion was on it.
Yeah.
I don't remember what Anna's opinion was on it.
I was very against it.
But, oh yeah, she was very against it. I remember that. She was very against it. And y'all were saying that Ibu and Anna were wrong for being against Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble. So,
I wasn't even on Twitter, buddy.
Now, when he botches a spear and then he botches a tope con hilo, now y'all want to be upset? No, brother. You asked for Yeet Mania. Now you're getting Yeet Mania. You should have listened to all of us when we said it wasn't a good idea.
You know what's funny about this rant, Joe, is the fact that Rob clearly has completely different timelines than us. Because Rob was like, everyone was saying he sells merch. Meanwhile, our timelines were like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Why the fuck did Jay win? And we were consulting each other like, I don't know, man. I think it's kind of a nice little gutsy.
Well, no, my timeline was kind of like a war zone, bro. My timeline was
Yeah.
it was the he sells shirts, he sells merch people versus Boo, where's Penta? So like, you know what I mean? Like it was kind of like it was kind of a mixed up. My timeline was kind of mixed up. But all I'm saying is don't cry now because you asked for this.
Can I just say as well that when like he did the tope and he had like the botch, the like choked laughter from the crowd, because of course you can like out or like laugh in that moment, but then everyone just like went silent and you just hear people going like everyone around me. It's like, come on. But then when they were doing the eat for fucking 10 minutes nonstop, super loud. But then when he did the move, silence.
Guys, I have a story, guys. So I went to NXT Roadblock last week.
Oh, what a beast!
Yeah. So I went, right, and during the commercial break, they do this thing, Joe, called the Lola Vice Dance Cam.
Oh yeah.
Basically, they play
shit.
on the big screen. All you see is like, and you see like Lola Vice going like, "Get ready, it's time to dance," and she starts like swiveling her hips, and then you just hear like on the loudspeaker like, "Who got the best dance in New York?" And like he's just cutting up people dancing.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, no. And you hear this Lola Vice like salsa music, right? And it's showing the fans, and they're all like trying to do like her dance and shit. And I look at my brother, I go, "You want to dance?" And he's just like, "Fuck no." And so I said, "All right, I'm not gonna dance."
Yeah.
But then it cuts to this one dude, right? And he doesn't know what dance to do. He's caught off guard, so he starts yeeting. He does like the yeet, and like he just starts fucking yeeting and shit.
Wrestling fans out there in clubs yeeting.
Yeah, and he starts like pelvic thrusting with the yeet to try to give it more rhythm and shit and motion. So
damn, that sounds innovative, to be honest. That sounds all right.
I'm doing it right now. He's like hump eating basically, and so he does that.
What?
Everybody starts to pop, right? And then everybody just starts yeeting with him. And I'm like, he's not even fucking here. What's going on here?
Levels, bro. Levels.
Yeah, they also
the WWE, bro.
I'm howling with laughter. Even if you want actual levels, Joe, they did one of those like Under Armour commercials or whatever the fuck those are, like where like the wrestlers are working out and shit. And we're getting that like during the shoot commercial. And one of them just shows Roman for like 2 seconds, like lifting something, and everybody's like, "OTC, OTC."
Yeah. New York knows, bro.
Oh my God, let's go.
It is what it is.
yo, I can't lie. If I was your brother and you asked me, you want to get up and dance, bro, I would have called you something totally different.
So,
So
someone trolled me and tweeted like they got Uncle on the dance cam dancing, and I got shook. I looked at my brother. I said, "Did I dance?" He's like, "No." I said, "Okay, all right, cool." Joe, I swear to God, I thought I was gonna get caught on camera just like doing the Lola Vice salsa. But
I just need to say that they're playing Frank Ocean now. I don't know who is in charge of this, but they're cooking so hard.
yo, Lauren Hill, Frank, the DJ at your hostel is a beast. Black
niggas,
Yakuzu, another beast. Black
niggas playing
Yakuzu
Ben Simmons,
94.
huh?
Black Yakuzu, I missed you, man. I missed reading your name, and you always had good super chats. $5 here. Cody-Rhodes might be unbeatable in 2025 to be TBPH. What is TBPH?
To be pretty honest,
Honest.
it took me a second to figure it out, but I figured it out.
Is this like one of those Manny ones where we talk about wrestling like it's real?
Yeah. I don't think anyone can take Cody, man.
Crossroads, bro.
Yeah, how does Rey Mysterio do this for more than 15 minutes? This is awful.
You know what? Yeah. Wearing a mask sucks. You know what, Joe? We're going to talk about it right now.
Go ahead.
John Cena opened this show. Same theme song, same year.
Yeah.
Comes out. Crowd is chanting, "Let's go, Cena. Cena sucks." He teases that he's not going to talk. He walks out. The crowd boos. He gets back on. You know, there's some "fuck you, Cena" chants. There's all kinds of chants. The crowd is very, very, very loud in Brussels, Germany. My bad. Belgium.
Brussels, Germany.
Germany. Brussels, Belgium. But they're going nuts.
Yeah.
And John essentially begins to cut this promo, Joe, where he's like, you know, he basically blames the fans for why he did what he did. And he basically delves into this theme of almost like feeling like he's a puppet for these people, and he refuses to be one anymore. And he refuses to perform for these people. And he berates the obviously the Cena sucks people, but also the Let's Go Cena people. And he felt that he was just kind of like a symbol for these people, and that they kind of wrote off of his success. And he says a lot, but the general gist of it is he's done playing the role that he's played for 20 years. And he's tired of it. And he's pointed the finger at them. And he said, Joe, that he's dumping the WWE universe.
Yeah.
He said he wasn't going to drop the song and the music because that's him. And he said, I'm not a baby face. I'm not a heel. I'm a human being. And he framed this as if he was the victim of an abusive relationship, and the relationship is the one he has with the fans. And he claims now that he's tired of it and he's going to drop it on his last year. He says all this. Cody Rhodes comes out to a gigantic pop. And the general gist of what Cody said is basically just, you let me know when like the real John Cena wants to come out and I'll fight him. Now, this is obviously a very, very, very abbreviated summary of a detailed segment that I'd recommend most people watch, even if you're not a big WWE guy, because it's just pretty significant. And I'm going to let you go first on this, Joe. What did you make of the John Cena Cody Rhodes segment?
I liked it, but with some complications in the sense that, firstly, there's a novelty to him being mean at all, right? Like there is just, it's fresh, it's new, it feels kind of it's kind of surreal. And that part of it was always going to pop, and it did. And I thought some of the content was really, really good. I loved the part about like gatekeeping, hustle, loyalty, and respect. You know, that's my life.
Yeah, that was
money. Like, and there was some really nice touches. Because of the length of it, there were also parts of it that felt like he was kind of going in circles a little bit.
Right.
But I left it more positive by the end because of Cody's response.
Mm-hmm.
Because Cody's response to me implied that this is not going to be the Cena we get for the rest of this build. I think this was a kind of broad strokes, big picture explanation of the way he feels. Mm-hmm. I think we're about to see a much different John Cena with much more of an edge, which is, because if not, why would you have Cody just immediately like dismiss it, right? He kind of just dismissed it as a front, basically.
He said, he was like, what the fuck is this? I don't want to
exactly. Yeah. So if we, because it's the first segment, so if we get to a point in a couple weeks where it's revealed, which I think is more interesting, which is Cena's really just a very desperate man who knows time's ticking and he needs that 17. You know, that's really what it's about.
Mhm.
That's great because then that presents this as like, it makes him even more absurd, right? He did all of this to try and explain himself. So we're doing this in a vacuum. I thought it was a good segment. I do think it had some like issues and it was long. My positives were some of the content was really strong. The delivery was obviously seen as always good, and I thought Cody's presentation was very flattering because as the babyface, he was completely unfazed and just like he didn't let himself get big brother or anything. Like I thought that part was strong. So I like the segment, but I'm intrigued as to what happens next because I feel like this is going to be kind of very different to what we get moving forward.
I think the biggest positive of the segment, in my opinion, Joe, is the fact that the juxtaposition of how the fans reacted to Cena and then to Cody's music hitting, it really set up Cody to just come off like the ultimate savior of the universe, like the final hope of the fans. Where John Cena let all the kids down and he gave up. Cody-Rhodes is the guy that never does that type of thing, and it felt like he's the guy you project your values onto. He's the guy that you have to now put all your eggs in or chips into or whatever the euphemism is. I'm watching him and he just comes off like it really, and I said this already, this is hardly new information or a new take. And I have fun with it on Twitter sometimes, but like sincerely, he just feels like the face of this entire era of this promotion and this business turn that they're on. It really just feels like he is at the eye of the storm. He is at the head of the ship, or whatever analogy you want to make. It just feels like this is his era, and he is in the center of this, facing John Cena. And beyond any content conversations that I could have, to which I could have a couple, on the surface, listening to how the fans sounded in there as these guys are going face to face, I just said, this felt big. This feels really, really, really big.
Pause.
And right. But hold on. Yeah, so I was a big fan of that aspect of it. I'll get into some nitty-gritty in the weeds stuff about like things that I wanted John to address. But before I do that, I'm gonna toss it over to Anna. And I'm gonna ask you, Anna, what was it like in the building when you guys were just lambasting John Cena for 7 minutes straight? Talk to me about that, the experience, and your thoughts on this opening segment.
At first, I didn't really know what to expect, how people were gonna react to Cena. And then, like before the show started, they were playing like the ads, for us, and they showed like a special Cena merch from Belgium, and everyone started booing. It was like he had just
Yeah.
walked in. It was crazy. They just showed like a T-shirt and in the screen, and people are like, "Whoa!" Like, "Oh damn, okay, the shit's serious." And then yeah, the "Let's Go Cena, Cena Sucks" chant. It was so loud. It felt like a one night stand Belgian version. It was generally like insane in the building. And when Cody walked out, like you could feel like just the switch, like the vibe switched. Everyone like got on their feet, and everyone was like, even I sang the whole song. Everyone sang the whole song from top to bottom. Like I think I get it now with Cody, and I'm so sorry to say that, but like I think I understand.
Wow.
Welcome to the good guys.
It's crazy. But I think it was a really long segment, for sure. And the thing is, when you're there, you can't see what they're showing on camera. So I couldn't see the kid. I opened Twitter after and I saw like the whole thing with the kid and everything. So Cena, for us, he was just like, it felt very comical at certain points. So like a lot of people were also like laughing at the things he said, but in like in a kind of silly way, when he started saying like I'm in an abusive relationship, that was just felt like kind of goofy. But I mean, people were really invested. Yeah, it did feel that like the longer it went, more people got a bit like, okay, like where is it going? So when Cody came out, like that's why you felt like people really got energized again. But I think, yeah, you can definitely see that everyone is really invested in it, and it worked because there was a part of me that still thought like, oh, they're probably gonna cheer Cena because it's Cena. But no, it was very well done. You could see that for sure. I think it was like a pretty good segment. I gotta be honest, because I was there. I do not remember everything that was said. I remember very few details. I don't know if that ever happens to you when you walk out of a wrestling show, like your mind is just like a fog.
Yes.
So I don't remember. I think you guys know better than me what was talked about. But
you just remember how you felt at a wrestling show sometimes.
Yeah.
Like
No, 100%. I remember like just not believing in what I was seeing. Oh, I think the
Guys,
radio stopped now. Sorry.
guys, when I saw Danielson Omega in Queens, New York, that went to a 30-minute draw, and it felt like 6 minutes live. I'm not even like exaggerating. Like I'm not even like being dramatic. I was like, wait, what? And like it ended. I was like, wait, what? Like it just didn't feel long at all. So it's really a different experience live. And I know you do have to go soon. The hostile uh, lobby guy is trying to chase you out of here. He's increasing the volume of the music he's playing to try to chase you out. Is there any closing statements or thoughts or anything you'd like to share with the WrestlePurists audience that loves you very much before you kind of head on out here and go on with your night?
Yes, I just was like, it was my first live WWE show, and like when you see the production that they have, like you do understand why they're as big as they are. Like I still personally, it's not my cup of tea, but it was a very good experience. Yeah, but it's still like it feels very tiring, like the weekly shows. So I'm saying like if you guys want to go to shows, maybe go to a pay-per-view. But it was nice. I just want to say, like, Seth, no one expected Seth to show up because they didn't announce him. And like when the Burn It Down hit, like my soul fully left my body. It was great. I didn't have to see CM Punk, which was also a very good thing.
Let's go.
You know what's funny about that is Anna knows for a fucking fact that if Seth was talking, all you heard was and she would have fucking jumped and screamed.
No, never. Sitting down, quiet.
We don't acknowledge jobbers.
You know what's funny?
Just real wrestlers over here.
Joe, Rob conceded, right? He does the Punk hate gimmick, right? When Punk and Cena were going toe to toe in that chamber, Rob was losing his goddamn mind. He was reacting.
I was like, oh my god, this is.
Rob was like, oh my fucking god, oh my god. And then at the end,
you know what I told you about? I was like, yo, these young niggas suck.
Joe, Rob was losing his mind, and then like he does that thing where like it's like a guy straightening up their suit, like at the end of it, like, oh man,
collecting himself,
like
composing himself,
like all right,
Yo, and then that was me when Punk didn't win. I was like, okay.
Anna, anything else?
Yes, just American audience, please get your fucking shit together. Like, there's no way you cannot do a good show. What is this? Why keep you doing like what chants, table chants, or there's like complete silence? Just scream like you're seeing those people in front of you. Just like enjoy the moment. Like when you see an international audience, and the comparison is crazy. Like the atmosphere is something else. Like yeah. Anyway, there's just like American audience, please, for the love of God, like you guys are very privileged. I know that. Like enjoy it.
Absolutely.
So. But yeah, so I'm excited to see how the rest of the European tour goes because we know the crowds are going to hit like in every single location. So yeah. So yeah, Ibu, you are back. That is something that is happening. So yes, good night, Rob, Joe, everyone. I will go back to my bunk bed.
Take care, Anna.
Good night, Anna.
Thank you, pal. The $5 is sending. We appreciate you. I'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Hell of a worker, dude.
And Anna knows her stuff, and she made a good point about these crowds, Joe. AJ Styles has a nothing happening backstage interview on this show that like, and the crowd has decided we're gonna just sing for this guy.
They're like, yeah, AJ, whoa!
I don't know how much.
Sure, I would have got an AJ match on there, man.
Bro, he's fucking there,
That's what I feel like the audience. I don't want to do this again because we did it a couple weeks ago, Rob and I. But like that audience sees him as a god, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I watch the show every week, right? And I am kind of like taken aback by like how much they look at AJ like he's like a legend, which he is, but like
you gotta remember, man, he was like the WWE champ for a year. You know what
it feels like, Joe? Because I have a theory, a working theory. I feel like a lot of new WWE fans picked up around the mid 2010s, like that, like for them, their nostalgia point of WWE is like 2015, 16. And I feel like for them, in that generation of fans, AJ's their Shawn Michaels, AJ's their Brett, AJ's their workhorse guy who was just awesome and tearing it up. And for them, because that's like the formative years of their fandom, they're always going to respect AJ Styles. And again, make no mistake, AJ is someone to be respected. But it's just staggering for me because I know how. I'm not saying WWE is treating him like he's just some Joe Schmo, but he's not positioned on the show the way that CM Punk or Seth Rollins are, right? And so when he comes out there and he's upper mid card, respected veteran AJ Styles, and these people are like, "Oh my God, AJ Styles, AJ Styles!" Like every promo, he gets the long serenading ovation. And I'm like, man, that's fucking awesome. And AJ Styles himself, Joe, he'll start to talk, and then he kind of smirks. And he's like, man, all right. And he pauses, and he's like, all right, yeah.
Yeah, I think you got to remember, like, you mentioned that era when people got back in.
Right.
You know, guys like Malachi Black, there's nostalgia for them in that era. And that most of that was NXT stuff. Of course, AJ has it, right? He was a genuine top guy during that time. And we'll always, he's one of those guys who's always the top guy no matter what you do with him because he's AJ Styles. But yeah, it would have been cool for him to have a match on the show tonight. I think the show would have benefited from just the one thing with Raw is like, and I know you guys talk about it every week, or you know, Rob still does, EB used to. Man, there's a lot of downtime on that show. Like a lot of shots of the state of the arena and the city, and
well, here's the thing, Joe. The last 2 weeks more than normal. So I was gonna make this a tweet, and then I opted not to because I was gonna do it on this show. So I actually thought, and I didn't hate today's TV, but I thought this week and last week's TV were like far below the standard of the Raw Netflix that's been set since the second week's TV. Because I thought like week 2 up until like the Raw after the Chamber was at a certain really, really quality level. And the last 2 weeks, it's weird. It feels like in terms of substance and content, it feels like the middle is like kind of shallow. And it's weird. And with this week, it almost felt like they thought we're in Brussels. They'll carry us to a level where our floor is watchable and safe just because the vibe is nice and the crowd is hot. And so, like, fuck it, we'll just do that. But like, it just felt like after the contract signing, there just wasn't much happening at all to the end of the show.
Yeah.
And again, so like, again, Joe, like you see me as like the Raw guy, right? Like I'm watching this and I'm like, where's my show? I'm sitting there like, what's happening here, fellas? Again, like the hallmarks of like most of these Raws, like that are you know well done is typically you get like at least two really, really strong wrestling matches. And you usually get like a promo in there that has a lot of depth and content and story development and stuff like that. The John Cena thing isn't necessarily that, but it is a big time segment and angle.
For sure.
You know, but yeah, I just thought like hour 2 of this was just kind of, it was very weird. Like it was just kind of like things happening, you know. I turned, I blinked and like the lucha tag was over, and I was like, wait, what? You know, and it was very strange. A lot of downtime, like you said. And again, here's a good example, Joe. For about 3 to 4 weeks, they did 6 matches on the show. And the last 2 weeks, they've done 4 or 5, but technically 4 because like the Jey Uso thing was a squash. But it's just a really weird thing. I don't know if it's them just taking the piss because they're in Europe and they're like, I fuck it, you know. But it is something to monitor for sure.
You know, I guess I'll give like more of an in-depth like thought process and detailed more review, obviously on the Raw review tomorrow.
Right.
But I my whole thing, especially with what Anna said with the crowds, I don't feel like this whole Cena segment that you talked about would have worked if they were anywhere else but in Europe. I feel like if we were in like fucking Bumblefuck, Nebraska or something, or like Tinseltown, fucking what fucking Oklahoma, like it wouldn't have came off well. And that's the thing, bro. Like with these crowds, it's just like why are American wrestling fans like so boring? Like you could chant and cheer for whatever you wanted. You have the opportunity to say whatever you like, bro. 10 years ago, they would have been telling Cena to die if they went to America. You know what I mean? And it's like we have to go to bro. I was telling them in Discord when we were watching it earlier. I said, yo, I'm so glad they decided to do like a European tour for this and for like Mania season instead of like staying in America for it, because it's just like all these places in America, like somebody in the chat just said, they're so used to it that they don't care. And these European crowds, they go over there and it's like it works for and even though the show is paced, like it was paced bad, like you said, I feel like if they would have went anywhere else but Europe for this tour, it wouldn't have worked. Well, it wouldn't have worked.
The weird thing is, Rob, is like the weird dynamic is I think that if they were anywhere else, they would actually would have put more things on the show. which is the weirdest thing. Like because as I'm watching the week to week, I'm noticing depending on what location they're at, it's almost like they know, okay, this environment will carry us with this. We'll just do this, this, and this.
But even then, they put like a actual wrestling match on the show with like Penta and what the fuck, Penta and
Ludwig Kaiser.
fucking Ludwig Kaiser, and they had a good match, and it's just like I just feel like we gotta pick the pace up, bro. We gotta pick it up over here.
Something I want to talk about with Cena. I know we're kind of pulling back, but I do want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I don't know when I'm going to be back on YouTube. So Joe, one of my early hangups watching this, and it took a while for me to get past. I rejected the premise that the fans weren't showing him love.
Right. Oh, brother.
It's very weird to me because like this feels like the promo that John should have cut in like 2012. But he has been universally beloved by wrestling fans for a number of years now. And so it was just kind of weird for me with him basically going like, the way you guys treat me. I'm like, they love you, John. They love you. They're on board with this.
Yeah.
It's kind of stilted. And it was so almost disconnected to me that I was like, this has to be like a Brian Gorge special. It felt like he flew in and they were like, write a heel promo for John. And he's like, oh, sure. And it's like, he wrote something that's very detached from like the weekly product. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
that makes sense. Yeah, it's just that's why for it to make sense to me, it kind of has to have just been like him bluffing because he didn't want to admit the reality, right? Which is that he's desperate.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. And so I'm watching it and I'm just waiting for the connective tissue back to the main actual issue at hand, which is he sold his soul to The Rock.
Yeah.
And so I wanted him to talk about that and what went into that thought process. And, we're to believe, unless John was this mastermind that just was rubbing his hands together going, I'm going to win the chamber and then I will da-da-da. If it's not that, then he made a split-second decision, a guttural reaction based off just his own natural desperation at the stage of his career. And that's very interesting. And that's something I want to be explored. And I hope it will be, and I think it will be, at least to a degree. And so I'm watching this, and I want him to touch on the desperation, title number 17, his relationship with The Rock, selling his soul to The Rock. One thing that was implied in the segment that I would like to see explored is this idea that he doesn't need the wrestling fans, because the truth is he's making more money than he's ever made now, right? And he is in Hollywood. And I think you've spoken to this before, Joe, that like the pairing with Cena works because they both do feel like very detached, non-human people, right? and I agree. Like they just both feel like complete cyborgs, right? And I think it'd be interesting if John basically said, because again, he said, "I don't need you." Like I think it'd be interesting if he said, like, what's the proof, folks? The fact that I'm in all these great, super successful movies. The fact that Dwayne can now put me on.
I'm sorry, I can't let you sit here and lie, bro. Like this. What do you mean? This is crazy.
I'm not lying.
We're gonna act like because 3 years out of the last 15 years that he's been getting cheered, right? He's been getting cheered for 3 years. But I'm not gonna let you sit here and act like most of the 2010s he wasn't getting told to die, that he wasn't getting told Cena sucks, that they weren't making shirts begging for him to go home. Like this is crazy.
Hold on, Rob, stick with me though. I've moved on to something else. So what I'm saying is, one thing that I want him to touch on or look into going forward, right, is the fact that he just told the fans, I don't really need you anymore. Because the whole thing he was basically saying to them is, nigga, I don't got to perform for you niggas no more. It weirdly for me, it reminded me of when Kyrie Irving did a post-game interview, Joe, and he said, stop dehumanizing me. Don't dehumanize me. The funniest post-game interview I've ever seen. He just kept saying, I am a human being, don't dehumanize. But it felt like John Cena feels like almost like a circus act that he's performing for these people. That's kind of interesting. That is interesting because in a lot of ways, that is what he was. He was playing a role. WWE needed him to be that, right? And so for him to basically say, I'm not doing that because I don't need to, and I don't need you people, and I'm fine without that, and I don't want to do that, that's cool. And so what I'm saying is, it'd be cool if they tied that into The Rock, where it's like, I don't need you. I need him. I need him because of the doors he opens for me. I need him because there are things that I need to achieve in my life that don't pertain to you. I can get to where I need to get to, and I don't have to play that role that I resented for a really long time. And it'd be really cool to see if they are able to dovetail that concept into The Rock and how and the events of Elimination Chamber. So that's just something I wanted
Yeah,
to mention because
and I agree. I agree.
yeah, it's something it's something I'd like to see them explore. I tweeted this show and people were like, "Oh, it's just 1 week. They could do it in the coming weeks." And I agree. I agree. It's just for me, right? As a wrestling fan, that's the angle of the decade, and it's like the follow up should address the angle of the decade first, rather than John Cena's personal feelings. At least that's how I would do it, right?
For sure, yeah. But it depends. This is the challenge of doing this immediately after,
Right,
right? Because
right.
it's like we can assess what we thought of as a segment, but the
Yeah,
direction will become clear. Because how many TVs is John making for Mania? Do we know? Yeah,
I think four. Counting this one, I think.
4.
Four.
Yeah, so that like
Yeah, because
it's gonna
it
be
said on the
interesting.
back of it said on the back of his shirt, "After this, you won't see me." So
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I think one of the things to look for is whether Cena kind of can tap into like a more of a shift in tone.
Mm,
His delivery is always going to be good, right? It's John Cena. But
right.
I don't think you got in this segment a genuine shift in like his demeanor, really. I mean, you did in the very glossy way of he didn't run to the ring and he didn't have a smile on his face, but his
Yeah,
delivery to me wasn't like a mile away from his usual delivery.
right.
yeah,
I'm intrigued if he can, because The Rock had moments where he was just The Rock as the final boss, but there was also moments where he came across like a deeply troubled individual.
Correct. And that's what made it, the subtext of that is what actually made that whole thing work as a performance, because it to me it felt like this was him taking the mask off and you're seeing who this guy really is this whole time. This is a motherfucker who is a Hollywood megastar, an egomaniac, um, um, and he's ruining this thing for Cody-Rhodes, and he's taking credit for this big movement. And you're seeing the actual sinister side as Dwayne Johnson. You know when I thought Final Boss was born, Joe? I thought it was born at the press conference where he was
Yeah,
there with
yeah.
Roman and Rock, and he got in Cody's face and he said, "You insult his family, you're insulting my family. You insult his blood, you're insulting my blood." And he said it in a certain way, and I was like, Dwayne's kind of freaking me out here, guys. And it felt like you were peeling that back. And I think the challenge that John Cena will face, and the one that I would like him to meet head on, if he really is as great as WWE says he is, and if he really is as iconic and as all time as many people believe him to be, right? And I'd like to also see, I would like to see him actually on an artistic level look to do that. Because here's the thing, even if he doesn't, it's not going to affect anything really tangibly, financially, whatever. This is going to be a big box office success no matter what. This is going to get over with the fans no matter what. They can do surface level like nonsense for the next few weeks of TV, and the crowd will eat it up anyway, right? However,
yeah,
I would love to see John Cena do what you just said, Joe. I'd like to see him the next time you talk. It just doesn't feel like the John Cena that we've seen. It just feels like a guy who has been changed by the fact that he's been in and out of wrestling because he's in another world now, and how that has changed him as a person, um, and how this decision is affecting him. How the fact that he's not, playing the role that he's been playing affects him. I want to see that affect him and change how he talks and communicates. Um, I think we will
uh,
get that to a degree, but the extent of which will affect how well I personally receive this. Even if generally speaking, I can say that this will obviously be a big success, and I can deem that so because of just how well the crowd received this week.
yeah. No, and I feel like with this segment, before we get into the next, I guess, do you want to get into the next super chat after this, or
Um, Say what you want to say, and then
because we got a lot of we still got a lot to go
so
through.
look, say what you want to say. Joe will give his kind of closing thing on this if he has any, and then we'll go to the next super chats.
All right. But yeah, no, and I kind of agree with the both of you. It was kind of weird to me that he didn't kind of address the whole Rock and Travis Scott thing.
Mm,
I feel like and his whole reason behind doing it. Like, I like the fact that he basically kind of told us how he felt about the whole situation. I feel like him telling us how he felt about the whole situation could have been built to behind his reasoning behind doing it, kind of like in an MJF sort of way, where and you kind of remember, how MJF gets those moments where he's talking, and it's kind of brought out of him like the real reason behind him doing something, like in a sort of a crash out moment. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I feel like Cena's reasoning could have been like him being like, "Oh, you guys never really appreciated me like that," could have been brought out of him instead of like been the forefront reason for him doing what he did. But
It'll
I
definitely
still
be
enjoyed it nonetheless.
monitor, and like Joe said, like we're super close to what just happened, and I think we'll have a we'll be able to more accurately evaluate this depending on how it trends. Is there anything else
Yeah.
you'd like to say, Joe, about this John Cena deal?
I think the kind of box you always want to tick with big segments is, am I still interested in the direction? And
Yeah,
I very much am.
yeah,
Yes.
I think the next segment is huge for my, and I think Ibu, our personal interest, right? Based on what you just said, in the sense that
yeah.
to me, the natural escalation now is that Cena does something to Cody that makes it clear to Cody, you're not getting the John Cena that you dreamed of wrestling at WrestleMania. You're not getting the guy you saw last week. You're getting a new monster altogether.
Mhm.
To me, if I had the pencil, God forbid, imagine the state it would be. The next step to me should be Cena's equivalent of the Rock beatdown in the, when it was raining
Yeah,
outside in on Raw, that kind of thing, and a shift, and have Cena say it was nothing to do with the people. I don't care about the people. I'm tired of losing, man. I'm
Yeah.
tired of smiling and, shaking people's hands and raising their arm. I raised Jey Uso's arm. Jey Uso sent me out of Rumble, like
That's where I thought he
that's
yeah,
was
what I
going.
want.
That's
yeah.
where I thought he was. That's where I thought he
That's
was
what I
going.
want, dude.
Because
Yeah.
then you tie that back to the January 6th promo and the Rumble presser promo. Because in January 6th, the whole deal was, I've lost a lot, guys. I don't know what's going on. And then
Right.
after the Rumble, remember that's when he kind of spoke in very severe terms and was kind of like, it's best for business if I win the chamber and I have to do it. And
Yes.
so you sew all this back together, you knit it back together when you make the core principle of why he made his decision the fact that he has been experiencing, he's been mired in futility for a number of years.
Yes.
This has been
Enough with the Ore Sharks. I'm a 16-time world champion. I'm the greatest of all time. I'm
right,
taking this now.
right,
Like I'm not
right,
passing a torch or any of that stuff. I don't care what WWE looks like when I'm gone. I don't care who tries to chase this record when I'm gone. I'm taking 17. I don't
correct,
care what anyone thinks. That to me is the money. And then you goes back to what you said. Then you get the idea that the decision he made at the chamber was instinctive and urgent. That's
right.
interesting to me.
Yeah, because I
Yeah,
thought he was going. I thought he was going there when he started talking about like you people like cheered for me and yada. I thought he was gonna be like, and then when Jey Uso eliminated me, instead of doing what you would do me and booing him out of the building, you cheered for him and you
Yeah.
appreciated him doing that. So, but he didn't go there. So
telling you
yeah, I guess.
folks, this is narrative, this is theme, this is storytelling. The buzzword that people love to throw around, the thing that people love to argue about. The actual truth is just it all goes hand in hand, and there are numerous threads and elements here that can easily be tied together to make this one of the most special stories the company has told in the modern day. And to Joe's point, I didn't leave the segment less interested. If anything,
Mhm.
I'm now more keen on them kind of getting to as many of the things that I'd like them to as possible. Um, and I'm not less confident about it. I'm more just kind of like I'd like them to do that. So, good stuff here, guys. Good stuff. I don't I don't want to pat myself on the back because a lot of it is just Joe and Rob doing their thing. Seeing
Hey,
these,
if it gets our truth off of TV more often, then I
that's
mean, hey.
a lot of people are saying this. I just think if it happens, cool. This is like hokey Fed shit to me. I can't lie to you.
If
Like,
if it writes him, hey, listen, if it
it doesn't
writes him off
matter.
TV and gives Andrade more minutes, I'm all for it.
If he does it because he just finds the idea of this guy like mimicking him annoying, because he did say like earlier that like the invisible joke was like really corny to him. If it's just almost like a flash of rage that like this shit is just like stupid and then sure. But like you know what this feels like to me, Joe? This feels like the people that before Punk debuted were like, what if like on what if on the first dance MJF came out to his theme first? And it's like
Yeah, he's just capable of something way better. And also the thing, a lot of the bigger, broader stories in WWE are just wrestling stories, and like that's why they work,
Yeah.
as opposed to the idea that they're like these sort of groundbreaking concepts.
Mm-hmm.
The one of the best ones that is kind of the backdrop to Cody's reign that Kevin Owens especially shined a light on and then Punk assisted with on the road to the Rumble is the idea that the pursuit of that belt is like extremely dangerous to one's soul,
Mm-hmm.
like this idea that the WWE title is a poison chalice, and that is really interesting to me because I believe that to be almost entirely accurate.
Yeah.
um
It
Cena,
that's hard
yeah,
in life.
right, and Cena being a guy who's held it 16 times, and the allure is so much that he's willing to destroy everything people believe him to be. That's really compelling.
I
So
agree.
you can do more with that too. There's a lot of stuff on the table here. Now again, we're doing a lot of fantasy booking because we watched one segment and we're trying to figure out what's next.
Yeah.
The one segment, good segment. The question is again, what's next? That will be an interesting thing to follow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know what day I'm going to do this, Joe, but I was going to write a think piece about this. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to do it. And I might have to make it a video or something.
Do it
But,
tomorrow.
but I'm going to put this out on public record so that when I listen to this back or something, I can write it down. But this is a very random thing that I just thought about now. Someone brought back up that really cool Cody Punk segment from before the Rumble. And it material wise and content wise, it was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd was dead silent for it. And conventional wisdom would tell you that that's a failure of a segment because the crowd didn't react. I would contend, Joe, that wrestling is now in a stage, though, where artistically and narratively, in some places, it's trying to grow up to sort of. And wrestling fans have not yet made the adjustment on how they're supposed to consume segments like that or react to it. I feel like wrestling fans are conditioned to react to verbal battle raps. And wrestling bookers and writers have perfected that format, and they know how to get the house rolling on those types of promos where it's
Yeah.
basically just a diss. Swerve talking to Ricochet and going like, "Oh man, people only know about you because of your wife," and everyone's like, "Oh shit!" Oh! You know what I mean? And I think wrestling fans have not yet understood how to react to something that's not really like a battle. It's just a tense conversation that highlights a lot of things about each people's personalities. And the question now is, should wrestling stop doing those then, or should it continue to challenge themselves and see how audiences react to that? Just a random thing I'm throwing completely out there in the air. I'm gonna develop this thought and we'll figure that out. But just something I don't know. Like, do you get what I'm saying, Joe?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's a shame because that the Punk Cody segment I could easily imagine, having a studio backdrop and having Gordon Soley between them. And it would probably been a little bit shorter, but it wasn't actually, that segment wasn't even crazy long, but like
Mm-hmm.
there were a lot of uncomfortable, intense conversations between characters in wrestling back in the day. I think things got really glossy with the head-to-head promos. So yeah, I mean, there was, to be fair, I thought the Naomi and Bianca, I should say, um, had a similar appeal in that it didn't quite have the rhythm of a modern talking segment. It felt like kind of real. So
Yeah. They're just kind
yeah,
of going back and forth, and it's tense and they're yelling over each other. It's not like I
yeah,
said my diss while you're waiting. Then now I give
right.
my diss while you're
Which
waiting.
is so tired now. Let's be honest. But
It's
once you've
yeah.
seen Rock do it with Cena, it's like what? What left is there to achieve?
I
Yeah,
agree.
bro. I agree. Go ahead, Ibu.
And I was gonna say I agree, but the unfortunate thing is I do think wrestling is, this is I don't know if this is even necessarily a good thing. Wrestling has perfected that format,
Yeah.
in the sense that they know when constructing the segment, Joe, they know what will get reactions, right? And so they're able to make segments like that get over. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my mentality goes right to Swerve and Ricochet's contract signing, which had the right zingers and the right disses that got the right reactions, right? And there's nothing wrong with that in theory. I'm just saying that when wrestling tries to push past that, or its attempts to do so this year, it either flies over people's heads or the live crowds don't really know what to do with that. And the question now is then, do you stop it or do you just tinker with
No,
that and continue to adjust it. So yeah.
I think the segment did work, the one we're talking about anyway, because just because it didn't have space for people to go ooh and ah, like people still lost their mind for the segment. So I think it worked. I think it's just the challenge of doing things in a big room is you're like kind of unsettled by the crowd not reacting with big booming cheers or boos. I think is what it is.
Yeah, kind of like the MVP and MJF one from last week. They just had a conversation.
I got to be honest, Joe. This is why I was into, and I know you weren't as big of a fan, but that Cody Rock interaction where he was asking him to be his champion, I like for kind of the same weird vibe that had. That had this weird offbeat, almost experimental vibe to it when Rock was just kind of like laying out what he wanted out of Cody-Rhodes, and Cody not really knowing what to do with that.
Just, Rock has very little. I mean, I love Dwayne the Rock Johnson, but he does not have a ton of respect for our time. He'll take like a sentence worth of talking points, which is ironic after we've done like 80 minutes on this segment. But we're doing our thing. Yeah. But like, I like what he's doing tonally and the kind of weird, creepy vibe that he has.
Yes.
I just wish sometimes he would focus in a little bit more on what he's actually. The point he's trying to make. He can struggle with that at this point in his life. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah. He could be a little indirect and meandering.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. It's certainly something that can be tinkered with and perfected, but I don't want it to be too perfect at the same time because then you get the diss battles. But good stuff there, folks. Bravo to Rob and Joe Holbert, man. You guys make it easy for me. Good conversation on the John Cena thing. We'll continue to monitor how this goes in the coming weeks. And thank you to the super chat. So we'll get to the next one, Rob. What we got? What you got for me?
All right, Faf PNG 199 Joe.
Word.
What? Oh, sorry. Joe, what should we do if we're liking the podcast?
Wow. Well, I think what you should do is sign up for LNG Gold, baby. But if you want to support this show, you should hit the like button, the thumbs up, if you will. That's what you should do. Not the thumbs down, the thumbs up. But don't do it twice because then you've undone the thumbs up part. Odd numbers, please, folks.
I like the video on my end. Have you?
No.
Exactly. No.
Vernacular, 499. EU back for Mania season. Cena heel turn is cooking. EO is world champion. And Punk is going to save SmackDown. My glorious Fed is back in full swing. All right, Joe. Now is where I begin to alert you of a potential tide turning.
Oh, Jesus. Not again.
Yeah, right. So I took a shower after Raw. And I looked up at the ceiling and I said, Friday's SmackDown was better than Raw. And I didn't like the feeling of realizing this. It made me kind of mad, And I thought about this because, unfortunately, CM Punk is going to be on the next couple SmackDowns, Joe, with Paul Heyman. And I'm dreading this because I have to now watch the show because my favorite wrestler is on it. But I thought a little bit deeper, Randy's back. Punk is there. Cody's going to make all these towns. Ray Phoenix is coming soon. And I said... Jacob's wrestling on these shows. And this is the bargaining stage of grief. You know what I mean? I'm like, it was a fun show last week, and the Profits are the champions now.
True.
And I'm like, all right, Profits. All right. I'm doing the math. I'm like, Profits, carry the one, Punk, Jacob.
Carry the one.
Randy.
Roman. Roman.
Yeah.
Solo.
And I'm like,
Roman.
Tamatonga.
I guess what I'm getting at here, Joe, is I'm doing the projections, right? I'm looking at the schedule ahead of the season to end the season, right? And SmackDown is 6 games out. They're like 5 games out of the play-in, right?
Yeah.
Raw is tied for first place, if not second place in the standings. But if you look at like the L10 on the standings, like last 10, it says 5 and 5, and you're like, trends, I looked at SmackDowns and it says last 10, and like, it's whatever. But the last 2, they won 2 straight games, And I'm looking at like the additions to the roster. LA Knight is the U.S. champion also. And Aleister Black, yeah. And I said to myself, I think SmackDown's gonna make the playoffs, Joe.
Yeah, I think you've been pretty stupid, to be honest. The show's probably gonna be terrible.
So you think last week was nothing but an aberration?
They're not. Look, It's going to take a lot to get me back, dude. I
Oh no,
I
yeah.
did a solo watch along one of those shows,
Oh yeah, that's
and
just that.
I'm still recovering. You know,
It was terrible. It was terrible.
I
Yo,
just
which SmackDown was this? This was
the
the.
one after the Rumble,
It's
the
really
one
bad.
that it was. I can't even remember what it was. He got like a 7 on cage match, which made it even funnier.
That,
but
but you know, nothing. You know, what was the funniest part about it? So that show stunk, right?
yeah,
And then like the next week's show was the exact same show, but Rock had a segment on it, and that's the one that everybody hated. I'm like, it was the same. It was the same shitty episode like the one we had last week.
if I see another 12-minute Bloodline tag main event that is the exact same match, they like it could be me in there opposite them, and they go, right, here's what we're doing, boys. But well, I think it sucks. It's the way it's not so much the talent, even though obviously it will help to have CM Punk or whoever, like Ray Phoenix, whatever. It's more
Hey,
the
Phoenix or whatever.
or whoever, you know. I know, like it's more the tone of SmackDown is.
It's
You're
weird.
really watching this, huh? You're really going to watch this show? Is that what you're doing with your time on a Friday night? You sure you want to watch it? Like the downtime on SmackDown makes Raw look brisk, you know.
You know what I wanted to message you, Joe, the other day? Because I watched SmackDown back with my brother, and the second time I liked it more. When I was watching it live, right? I begrudgingly admitted, because that show was, I forgot where they were at, but the crowd was great. Barcelona. It was a great crowd. They were going crazy for like Tim and Gunther, right? And when the show ended, I was like, that was objectively good TV, right? And I asked myself, because the timeline was celebrating. And I said, why don't I feel triumphant? And I was like, one, A, I'm just a hater. And then I said, no, it can't be that I'm a hater. You know what I realized, Joe? Sometimes I just don't like the show's vibe. You know? Like it just
And we need to talk about the blue mat, dude.
yeah, it just
Yo, I was talking about that shit last week, bro. I was like, on Twitch, I was like, yo, the blue mat is like, bro, because you can tell the blue mat is how you can tell they don't give a fuck. Because Raw has this black mat with all these fucking logos and these brands on it, and then all of a sudden you get to SmackDown. It's like, blue mat.
The thing is, a blue mat is not inherently bad.
No,
right?
Blue mat.
ECW, WCW, blue mats.
New Japan.
This is a particular tone. Yeah, of course, a particular tone of blue that is unsettling. It feels wrong.
God, it's disgusting.
It's a bad blue. It's a bad blue.
And it's a worse blue when you put the blue down and you got the Miz on it. You know what I mean?
So there's nothing worse than a match just ended, and it cuts backstage to the person walking out with the up next thing on, and it's like Mike Mizanin or somebody like that, right? And all you hear is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let them know we on the way, counting zeros every day. And I'm like,
I was
that song sucks.
I was operating on our beloved cage match the other day, and I was trying to figure out the stuff I hadn't reviewed, and I saw Braun Strowman versus Solo Sikoa 3.64 rating, and I had like howled laughing, and then I looked 2 matches lower, and it said Drew McIntyre, Jimmy Uso 3.89 out of 10. And I was like,
bro,
Jesus
Christ, bro.
So obviously what I did was I did both of them to my watch list, because of course I did.
Let me look.
This was the show in Philly.
Joe's so beast.
So I think, sorry. I think
both of them were 7 minutes long. How bad can they be, guys? You know?
Oh yeah, no, that show sucked except the Naomi segment and Cody's promo. Everything else was like really bad.
Yeah.
Those matches are just it was more nothing matches rather than like disasters.
Exactly. I'm going to bring the average up 2.25. You know.
Yeah.
Guys, I like the Raw theme, but the SmackDown theme, I can't do it, bro. Jesus.
Yo,
when you put a show like you put around it, Jesus Christ.
You know what theme song goes hard in person? I got to be honest with you. Are you guys familiar with the NXT theme song?
Oh my God, yo, please talk.
$1 million from now. I will remember you. I will remember you. $1 million from now. I will remember you. I was like, yo, this is tough.
Oh my God, this nigga talking.
You got radicalized on Tuesday, dude.
Joe, I felt like I went to like a rally, and I looked around and I said, I'll put that hat on, you know?
I'm telling you, man, that show, like, I don't enjoy it really, but there's a spirit to that brand, man.
Weird.
It's got a soul to it. It feels like wrestling in a weird way. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it.
No,
oh my God,
T-Buzz diving to the outside, you know, and, you know, like, I'm like, all right, I get it.
It's got heart, dude. People are diving off the loose balls, you know. It's like
I'm sitting there, right, and people are chanting, Joe, I get to New York, and we're sitting down, and it's a bunch of like young people in the crowd. They're all NXT,
Yeah.
and my arms are folded. I'm looking around. I'm like, all right, let's see what's going on here, And then Oba Femi's doing power bombs and shit. And I'm like, all right, And then Ego and Javon are having a good match. So I'm looking around and I'm like, all right, NXT, okay.
And then this week, you know what they did? They said, all right, Ridge Holland match. Let's go.
Well, so I
was like, okay.
formula out, Joe. See, I got fooled before. NXT is watchable to good on the PLEs and the outside of PC specials. That's the formula. The shows in the PC are horrendous. So
yeah, but that's what makes them a compelling team. They're a 500 team, but they're like when they make the playoffs officially, it's going to be a moment,
Well, you know what's funny about all this, Joe? This season, they're above SmackDown on the standings.
Yeah.
They are.
I agree. I believe that. I mean, I actually like Joe's comment in our live chat. He says, because NXT is stupid, which is how I felt about watching wrestling as a kid, main roster and AEW take themselves so fucking seriously.
Exactly.
And there is actual truth to that, and like it may sound backhanded. Main roster WWE in particular is now presented through the lens that like you're being blessed to have a chance to see it with your eyes, It's like, can you believe how well we're doing, everyone? Come and have a look at this. It's like,
yo, Joe. In case you've been living under a rock right now,
Right.
the WWE is really hot.
Joe,
it's so pretentious.
Joe, the day of every
Did you know
TV
this week we got 18,000 people in the building?
Guys, every TV right now, if you check, there's a video on social media of Hunter coming out of a car with shades on, right? And he's like,
"Oh my god, it's so beast."
Stay tuned tonight. What you're getting, blow your mind.
Yo,
And it's like,
I tweeted
It's
it
like-
earlier. There's never been a wrestler willing to suck his own dick more than Hunter Hearst Helmsley, bro.
Here's the thing: if you just think like if it's his matches and you think your matches are good, this dude will book like 6.5 out of 10 TV and be like, lock the fuck in, and it's like.
Bro, and then, bro, because you think back to all the Mania trailers when you were a kid. Vince McMahon is in none of them. He wants to be involved in none of them. The Hall of Fame, none of that. And then you get the Triple H with the Travis Scott in the background. Are you guys ready? And he's at the beginning of the fucking trailer, the middle of the trailer, the end of the trailer. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Bro,
The fucking Hall of Fame package he did today. Jesus
I told
Christ.
Joe about. I told Joe, oh my god, Joe, they ran a like a 3-minute Triple H package.
I know, man. It's outrageous.
And the nastiest part is like, it's edited to make him look so fucking epic, and you're just seeing like pedigrees and it's cutting to people going like, he was just the game, and you're just seeing like the highlights. And it's just like cerebral.
It's like so beast.
So it's cutting to talking heads. You're seeing like Peter Rosenberg like that sledgehammer. When you knew when that came out, and you're just hearing like, "No, don't do that."
he's you know what he is? He's just all of us if we were a wrestler.
And then the package is over, and like it cuts to like fucking Wade or whoever, and he's just like, "Let me tell you something. That is the game. I mean, oh my god."
How awkward do you think it is in Gorilla when they're just like all watching his own video package, just sitting quietly, like looking around?
Yeah, you know, he's looking around like, yeah, I was the shit.
Yeah,
Hunter's just nodding. He's just like,
bro. Oh my god, yo, the word, bro. We watched it on one of the Match Rocket watch longs. Subscribe to the Patreon, you'll go see it. Yo, him fucking booking Cena and Orton against the whole roster just for him to come out and beat everyone up at the end of the show. It's just like, Jesus Christ.
have you ever seen that match, Joe?
no.
Bro, you have to watch it.
I rewatched it with Rob and everybody in Selfmade. It's John Cena and Randy Orton versus the Raw roster.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not actually the whole. It's basically, well, actually, it's most of the roster, but they're all like on the apron, Joe. And like Paul London and Kendrick are getting one-shotted and eliminated, and like the Highlanders and people like that, right? JBL refuses to sell. Umaga is kind of kicking their ass. But the general point is Randy and John learn to team up, learn to work together. And through doing so, mid-match, they're able to clean through most of the roster. We get a DQ. You know, kind of like they won't break the whatever it is where they don't want to like get back on the apron, whatever the fuck is a DQ, right? And it's kind of like a schmaz with those 4 guys. And then doom, time to play the game. Doom, time to play
Yes.
the game.
No,
And
and then
basically, it's
he
like
does his
pedigree
whole
on the,
entrance.
it's like he just pedigrees everybody, Joe. And then just does that pose he does where like his fists are up kind of
Bro,
flexing.
he does the standing on the stage, just spitting up the waiting for like 2 minutes.
And then he just walked away, and that was the end of the angle.
Yeah, he was a nasty top guy, man. Real nasty.
He didn't eat a pin to Jeff Hardy ever, you know. So
Yo, did
Well,
they
you
kick
know.
me out or am I still here?
now
You're
you're
back
here.
now.
You're back now. There's a 4th screen loading. I don't know what that.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I
saw
was
that,
here
Joe?
talking about it, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
I wasn't here. But
Yeah.
no, bro, it's like he does the whole entrance, and it just like comes in there, hits them both with pedigrees, and
What's the Kendrick and London one where like they do a babyface save to save him and he just stands up and pedigrees both of them as a babyface? Look, bro wanted to be Steve Austin, you know?
He's so
Like what are you, bro?
Yeah,
Why
like,
did you
look,
think
guys.
he was so cold, bro?
Like, listen. In hindsight, all of this is bad, right? Like, all of this is really
Yeah.
bad. He's so,
Yeah.
he's so godly, bro. I'm sorry. Like,
All right, no, I'm not. Let's relax.
Look,
It's
I don't know if
Listen,
I'd go
I'm
that far.
sorry.
What I will say is, like, we're having fun talking about this because it's funny, right? It's not like, you know, I think people get so upset when you talk about this stuff. It's like, it's funny, man. I'm not that mad about it. It's, you know, 2025 now, right? But it's funny. We can all agree on that much at least, right? He's going to the Hall of Fame in a month.
He's like, I am, in all reality, I am the strongest wrestler on the roster, and you will respect me.
It's funny.
He didn't know about it, and he's doing the speech in the WWE headquarters, and then like Shawn and Taker are like, here, we're letting you know you're in the Hall of Fame. Hunter's like, wow, I didn't even, man, I'm gonna kill you.
Like, wow, really?
Joe, have you seen
No
Dave?
way.
No one aggregated this, but Dave for like 2 months is like, that was a fucking work. And Brian's like, I don't know, man. I think that's his real reaction. Dave's just like, Dave did the funniest thing, Joe. He was like, I'll tell you later, Brian, but I have proof that was a work. It's just like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, I don't care, right? Like,
Right.
I mean, the reality of it is the Hall of Fame, it's headliners. That's like the priority, right? Like the rest of the people that go in, it sounds terrible to say this, but it's an event now. Like they need a headliner. He's the natural headliner.
Mhm.
So he's going in. And I don't care, but I do think it's funny. I mean, it goes without saying. It's absolutely funny.
You know what's gonna be even funnier? The day Punk gets inducted and he pretends to like care about it.
Who do you think's gonna induct him?
Heyman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you see that horseshit ass quote Paul Heyman said about Punk?
Yeah, he's lost his mind, dude.
What'd he say? What'd he say?
I read that, and that was the first time I was concerned about Paul Heyman's like mental state.
What did he say?
I think he's finished.
He said it was like a long quote about. He said Punk is the most rebellious character in television.
Let me find the quote.
His new thing is he doesn't talk about anything just in wrestling. He extends everything beyond wrestling.
He did it with Roman too, where he was like, Roman Reigns is not the best,
right?
The most compelling character in wrestling or WWE. He is the most compelling character on screen in any channel on television. It's like,
at least fit his gimmick. You know, this is like insane. Yeah,
bro, you can tell like because this is like the most money he's like ever made, probably doing this bloodline shit. He just doesn't give a fuck anymore, bro. Like he's just like he's so checked out.
Well, yeah, we'll see how this Friday goes. But I'm gonna find a quote. Rob, go to the next super chat while I find this fucking quote.
Ryan Sacchini, $6.99 Canadian. What y'all think of Vaquer Jordan, and Julia Mako at Stand and Deliver with the big three called up after? I don't see Vaquer relinquishing.
Who were the big three?
They call it's Julia, Vaquer, and Jordan is who they call the big three.
Called up if they're doing a title match.
My thing is, bro, what are they doing with these belts, bro? Are they unifying them or what? Like actual unification, like, or what's going on?
Not unified, and the only reason Julia dropped that roadblock was because she's hurt.
Yeah, she's hurt.
That's the only that match is going to happen at WrestleMania weekend.
Which match?
What's up?
So you said it was going to happen. Sorry, that's my bad. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they moved it up to just get it off of Julia. So I do anticipate that it's Vakir and Jordan. I don't know what Mako does. I know Mako. There is some rumblings, Joe, that she's gonna get involved imminently.
On NXT.
Yeah, she was at Roadblock.
That's cool. That'd be interesting. I
I'd
mean, they've got a great division, so there's still
I'd,
for a wrestle.
I'd run her back with Roxanne or some shit. Yeah,
Is Roxanne up? Or is she? Do we know?
so it's supposed to be double duty until Mania and then main roster full time after, right? And she's doing the wrestling territory thing of doing jobs on the way out in NXT. She just did a clean job to Jordan on TV, which is like that's indicative of the fact that she's on her way out, right?
Yeah.
The weirdness is what's happening with Bailey. I don't know if you saw, she posted a Jimmy Butler quote where Jimmy was talking about, it's not my time right now. I'm going to pass the ball and help my teammates. So we'll see what happens there.
Nigga, it's been your time for the last 9
Joe
months,
is
nigga.
dying.
Wait a minute, bro, because it's like,
Joe
Bailey,
is
bro,
dying.
bro.
He's fucking
Yo, did you see? Did you see?
Jimmy Butler.
Yo.
Everyone was replying like, "It's time to take the shot, Bailey. Let's go." Wrestling is so weird now, dude. She basically tweeted a video like, "I am a selfless professional wrestler." I was like, "Damn right you are, Bailey." It's fucking weird, man.
So funny.
Bro, they posted like a clip of her, Roxanne, no, not Roxanne. Lyra basically told her like earlier in a video they put on Twitter. She was like, yo, I don't like how Raquel basically fucked you over last week. So if I beat Raquel, you get a title match. And I was like, oh, brother. Fuck.
That'll be the thing. I hope that's how we get back to Roxanne. And so to answer Ryan, I think Jordan's going to beat Stephanie. I think. Actually, I'm not sure. I would like 2 of the major NXT women to get called up after this. The original plan was going to be Julia coming up after Mania, Joe. She was going to come. Yeah.
She would actually be my 3rd pick, hilariously. So we'll see.
I don't think that's happening anymore, given the way that this is shaken out. So we'll see who does come up and who does not. Sol Ruka will be facing what's her name? Chelsea Green on Tuesday. Sorry. She'll be facing
Sorry.
I was like, you said Sol Ruka.
But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan, thank you.
Chicken 98, $5. Just want to say, you guys keep me sane during my last exam session, and we'll do the same this week. Thanks again, and hope you guys have a good rest of your day.
That's awesome, man.
Chicken.
Thank you.
I really enjoy eating chicken. It's a good food. And I appreciate you, Chicken 98. Rob is dying.
It's my fault.
Because like, what was it? He just goes, I really enjoy eating chicken. What?
It's real stupid.
Chi-Town Spurs, $5. Joe putting in that Okada 3.5 Road 2 effort. Gotta respect it. Yo, shout out Okada, bro.
Joe, for the Cena conversation, he started to kind of, he did the Rainmaker pose, and
I've worked hard on that, actually. I got into it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
So I felt like a mental switch hit for me where I was like, do I want to dog it or do I want to like try to make this kind of good? And like the professional pride kicked in,
Yeah, we were doing a chop exchange and the people came up and we said, oh, baby, let's get them going.
Exactly. And then I pull Rob to the apron. I'm like, Northern Lights bomb. And he's like, what the fuck?
Izzy Barre, 94, $2. How do we get that old countdown music back too? I don't know. That's a StreamYard thing, brother. Yo, StreamYard in 2025. Outstanding.
Bro.
Them niggas, yeah, this shit
Bro,
washed, bro.
I saw an Instagram video of like somebody cooking with Outstanding playing, and like NBA Twitter ruined that song. That is an excellent
Yeah,
song.
it is a
Scatman
great
is a
song.
great
It's
music
a
group.
great song.
Charlie Wilson is an awesome singer. That was a popular song for years before fucking NBA Twitter decided that's the theme song of Being Washed. Fucking Tyler the Creator used the lyrics of that in 911. You know, it's a good song. And now when I hear it, all I think about is fucking Celtic Shack. So
And Kevin Garnett,
yeah.
Brooklyn Nets, Kevin Garnett. Yeah, but yeah, this StreamYard shit so washed, bro. Especially with they cooked the loop last week on the Raw review. Disgusting.
Give me back shots Solomonster, $4.99.
Yo, he read it, yo.
Whether it's Bianca or Io, hopefully Bianca, Rhea needs to take the pin from one of them. If Io wins, Bianca beats her for the title at SummerSlam. Well, let me tell you something. Give me back shots. I agree with you. I think it should be Bianca that pins Rhea Ripley. And I think that naturally leads to a return match for Io and Bianca at Backlash or wherever you want to book that match. And Rhea Ripley could be set down the ladder, down the spiraling portal like Samurai Jack in the intro of the show. And she finds her way back to Aku. And you could do that inevitably at Evolution or SummerSlam. So that would be how I would book it.
Andrew said Zion after you were talking about the outstanding. Take a timeout. But no, I agree. I agree. Shout out Zion, averaging 25 right now. Jonathan Gomez, 199. Has anyone asked Ibu what happened to the baddies? Yo don't know.
Nobody has asked, but the straight up answer is just that it didn't work out. It didn't work out, and they obviously went their separate ways. So there you go.
6-star 199 Gold Star podcast is the new 2022 Thursday.
What Joe just did there was, this may be a clip. I'm going to be statuesque and look forward during this clip. that's what that was. It's very smart. It's very smart. Yeah.
My thing is, why do y'all want to know what happened to the baddies so bad?
I think it's just a meme at this point.
Probably a 6-star goes.
The clip might still be going, so I'm like, transition 6-star 199 Gold Star podcast, the new 2022 Thursday show. Hell yeah, man! Hell yeah! Shout out to 6-star.
Fahad, sorry, I got distracted. 39.99. Here to support Joe and represent the late night grin.
See,
almost said late night gold. Jesus.
It works. The distraction actually worked in our favor there because we got more screen time. I appreciate that, Rob. It's good stuff. It's true. Late night grin. There was a very interesting Evo cameo last night, which led to one of the weirdest things I've ever produced on the air. So you can go check that out. You can see that for like $1.99 too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. Wait, you said look at what?
No, I meant look at that. The fact that you can just go for $2 and see an Ibu Joe therapy session.
Don't know. $4.99. Ibu, what are some of your favorite matches you watched during your break from podcasting?
Wow. So during my break from podcasting, Joe, I finally started to watch a promotion that I've known about but never watched, which was Gaia. No.
Oh, sorry.
Gaia Japan, which was a Joshi offshoot promotion that was launched in the mid-1990s by some Joshi former All Japan Women's legends like Chigusa Nagayo and company. And I watched the opening tag that may have been their first show, which was incredible. I watched a Gaia match with Aja Kong and Kaoru from 2000. Both these matches were bloody, brutal, extreme matches in Korakuen Hall, gritty, violent. And I hate to do the it used to be better thing, Joe. I really, really do. But there was just a nastiness in these wrestling matches, a chaos, a lack of structure that felt scary and dangerous. Aja Kong is just a mean, nasty, miserable, tough lady. And the way she kicks the shit out of people is incredible. Devil Masami was in the opening tag, was in the tag of the first match I watched from '95. Those two are some matches I love. Another match I watched during my time off, Joe. Crazy Crusher versus, I believe the other guy's name was Hellstorm. It was an
my God.
It was an indie ladder match from 2004.
Oh
And
my God.
I'm not exaggerating to say this. I think this is the greatest ladder match I've ever seen in my life. I think it is like point blank, straight up the best ladder match of all time. But the thing is, it's a match that I would never recommend anybody in the modern day ever replicating. Because at about 6 different points, I thought somebody was going to die.
Right.
But that's what made it the best match I've ever seen.
Right, yeah. Give and take there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you told the people about your Age of Angelo project where you watched every Angelo Dawkins match on tape?
No, but I'll come clean, folks. So I
Yeah.
started to go after Royal Rumble, and I was in a pretty weird place in my life. And I just decided arbitrarily that one of the 5 best wrestlers in the world was Angelo Dawkins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick, dude. It was a good night. And then the Luca trade happened. We all lost our minds.
Oh, yeah. Angelo
Yo,
Dawkins.
thank God for that.
Fuck that. And I feel like I don't know how I feel like that affected the Knicks, but anyway, Dawkins, Samoa Joe, Shelton Benjamin,
The big three.
the big 3, the 3 best wrestlers in the world.
That's a valid big 3. That's a valid big 3.
We should actually do
can't
the
argue
Age
with
of
that.
Angelo, bro. We should
He
actually
lost
do that.
Joe, he was
He's
fucked
so
up.
good.
His hot tag was sick. If this was Discord, I would just stream his hot tag. It was fucking
They're
awesome.
such a good tag team, man.
Yeah, they are. I'm telling you, Joe SmackDown's back.
That's a fantastic thing, though, about the self-made Discord, which starts at just $5.99. Oh, $4.99. Well, $5. Same difference.
We watched a lot of different things in there, yeah.
Ryan Cicchini, $2.79 Canadian. Call up to WWE. Feels like not a normal target.
It is a normal target when William Regal's doing the recruiting.
Big mid 2010s indie guy.
Yeah. just picture Darren firing up his
Darren. Come
Yeah.
on, dude.
I've always wanted to watch
Nobody,
in person.
You know, this is a weird thing. No one in wrestling calls him Darren.
Of course. A lot of the boys call him Steve Regal, which pops me immensely because that's a fake name.
Well, Joe, what's godly is they think that's his, because wrestlers won't call each other by their governments. They think that's his government name.
Yeah, Steve, yeah.
Yeah, they think it's Steve, yeah. It's so, like, I'll talk to a wrestler and they'll just say, yeah, I was talking to Ashley. And I'm like, who? Oh, Charlotte. I'm like, oh, okay. Blah, 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 blah. And then Steve comes. Who's Steve? Steve Regal. I'm like, Jesus Christ. No, it's like, all right, man.
Brainbuster. Shout out to Brainbuster, $1.99. Join Late Night Green Gold. Tremendous.
Boom.
Tremendous.
Yeah. He's kind of biased, but still, he's right.
Amari, $3.16, $5. How do y'all feel about heel Cena basically being a meta commentary on his character and his career? It's tremendous. It's tremendous.
We spoke about it, and I'll just say, I don't like you people promos, but I do think in the context of the career John Cena's had and his relationship with the wrestling fans, it's more apt to go in that direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, because y'all have been abusing my y'all have been abusing my big bro, and it's not cool.
The crowd is such a big part of the John Cena story that you can do it, definitely.
You know, it's something that never was done that I kind of think is kind of weird. Roman Reigns never, like, the character as tribal chief, never, like, yelled at the people about how they treated him as a babyface.
You know why, right?
Why?
It wasn't there, dude. It was the Thunderdome. Probably thought it would be a wasted time, you know?
You know what I feel? This is going to sound so weird, and maybe this is me interpreting something that wasn't there. You know what I always thought was the moment where Roman Reigns had that moment as a character? Remember the Mania 37 main event with Edge and Bryan?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
There's a moment in the match where Roman finally pauses. It's like some type of announce table spot where he finally pauses, goes up the steel steps by the announce table, and he's looking at the crowd. And it's almost like his moment of finally taking a live audience. And he kind of makes a really good face. You know, this guy used to be really good. He makes a real good face that kind of that kind of scans as like, it's okay. I don't care anymore. because I'm above you.
Yeah.
That was always my interpretation of it. It was just like it doesn't matter to me anymore how you react to me, and he kind of just makes a really good face, and then the action continues. But just
He's very
something-
good. Very good wrestler.
We'll find out on Friday.
Yeah. Definitely still hinging on what happens on SmackDown. People are working on their Roman Reigns books and they're going, I can't. I gotta wait until SmackDown.
I gotta see what he says on Friday. I gotta see what he says.
This chapter will definitely be something we remember a lot when we look back on Roman Reigns. It's definitely not already done, you know?
Yo, man, the Roman Reigns documentary in 5 years, it just literally ends at Mania 40.
Dude, it's like, I think him coming as a babyface and doing war games, I think the rest of this stuff is him just, you know, just enjoying himself and making some good money. Some really good money, I should say.
So it's funny when you watch like wrestling documentaries about wrestlers, and they'll be like, you'll watch like a Randy Savage A&E documentary, and it'll be like, and then he wrestled DDP, and Randy Savage is a great wrestler, and it kind of just like fades off from there, and it's like
the best one's Hennig, because it will be like, so he wrestled Brett, and then he returned at the 2002 Royal Rumble. It's like, well, hold on.
yeah, like, wait a
There's
minute.
9 years there that you've just skipped. It's like, and then you realize once you get older and you watch that stuff, you kind of realize why they skipped it. But
Yeah. So
Oh my God! Hey, we been watching him in '99 WCW in Discord, and Jesus Christ, he just does he not give a fuck?
he's so done, man. It's sad.
Joe, Rob is a weird fucking guy. This guy
Beast.
is watching no skips, entire episodes of 1999 Nitro.
That is insane because I actually think that's the 2000 WCW is worse, but it's funny. It's fun to watch.
Yes.
There's not really any value to 99, which makes it more beast what Rob is achieving there.
Bro, you know what it is? No, you know what it is about 99? 99 is like 2000, but instead of crazy shit happening during the matches, it's just, bro, I shit you not. They let Billy Kidman and Mikey Whipwreck wrestle on a pay-per-view for 15 It was his first appearance in WCW, Mikey Whipwreck. They wrestled for 15 minutes, and it was the most boring 15 minutes of the entire watch. Yo, they did nothing interesting, bro.
It's just not good. And Joe, I think Rob, I feel like he gets like a power boost by doing it. He goes out of his way. I think in his mind, he thinks it's like a toughness boost or like some type of like badge of honor. Because I'll pop in and I'm like, you're not watching the whole show. And Rob's like, no, we're watching the whole fucking show. And I'm like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah.
It's the TNA fan in Rob, dude.
It's
I listen. I watch GFW era TNA. Nothing scares me anymore.
That's what it is. Yeah, you just enjoy it. You enjoy the challenge.
Nothing scares me.
I popped in last night and I saw Rob there and I heard the anonymous Raw GM. And I was like, what are you doing? And to piss me off, Joe, this is what he does. He goes, it's better than 97. I was like, I like just
it is.
I completely lost composure and then I left the Discord.
It is. And I will maintain that for the rest of my life. Nothing I've watched is as bad as 97 WWF.
It goes like, it's better than that Godwin bullshit you like. And I'm like, all right.
97 bro. 97 WWF gets carried by the Montreal Screwjob, Canadian Stampede, Brett and Austin, and like one other match. But like, yo, you motherfuckers are sitting there telling me you like Big Pen Godwin matches? Oh, come on, guys.
I lost my shit when that, like, the layers to your Brett Sean thing the other day was tremendous because suddenly on my timeline, I see like you're watching the match and then I realize what's happening because other people are posting the screenshot of the match graphic and I'm like, it was like, I mean, I see a crash before it happened, you know? I was like, why are they doing this? I know where this is going to end up. And then an hour later, the tweets all emerge. This fucking sucked. Whatever.
Yo, no, you know what it is?
Wait. No, wait.
Go.
And then the worst part, Joe, I joined the Discord as the match is ending, right?
Yeah.
And I don't even open my mouth. Rob starts yelling at me. He's like, yo, I don't want to hear shit. I don't want to hear shit. Da-da-da-da. Blah, blah. I was like, Rob, shut the fuck up, Rob. Da-da-da. I said, you can't judge Bret Hart off the Iron Man match. I said, it's a very divisive match.
Why can't I?
Rob was like, Sean was great in it. But your boy, your man, kept slowing it down. And we started.
No. Because listen. The first 30 minutes of headlocks, I understood, right? We got an hour to go. You know what I'm saying? We can't just go for 30 minutes straight. I understand that, right? But then Sean starts doing Hurricane Ranas. Sean starts doing topes and dives. He starts doing power slams, and I'm like, oh boy! And every time he does something interesting, Brett is like, yo, what if I put you in the headlock? But
All right, Rob.
this way,
Let me think piece you real quick, kid. So the story that they're telling is that
it is crazy.
Bret Hart is the type of wrestler that he feels that grown men want to watch when they get home after the hard days of labor. He's rugged. He's the workman. He's blue collar, right? He's physically built to last 60 minutes. He did the training, right? He's sturdy. He's strong. He's going to wear Shawn Michaels down. Shawn Michaels is flashy. He's flamboyant. He's dynamic. Jose Lothario, you know what I mean? He's implementing the lucha libre into his offense, right? He's going to beat Bret Hart with his quickness and with his flash and with his dynamism, right? And so the match starts off. You're meant to be wowed by Shawn Michaels. You're meant to want him to pick the pace up. Bret Hart isn't trying to be pretty. He's just trying to win. Shawn Michaels, it's in his nature intrinsically to win and look good doing it. And I thought, even though this is a very flawed match, an extremely flawed match, Joe, I wrote this in my write-up in 2022 about this match. The one thing that does work for
I
me,
read it, by the way.
the one thing that works for me is that dynamic. It felt like boxing going in. And the styles make fights thing was very prevalent in the match. And so Shawn Michaels doing the Ranas to the outside, doing those kind of counters and stuff and pin counters, and Bret Hart being like, fuck that, and being more kind of like hard-nosed and matter-of-fact, it works. Bret Hart's not trying to entertain anybody. He just wants to win the fight. Shawn Michaels is doing the opposite. And I thought the way Shawn was able to eventually break through of the wall that Bret Hart surrounded Shawn with, and got through with the cross bodies and the dives and the planchas and the super kicks. I had a good time with that part of it. And obviously it's really, really fucking bloated, and there should have been some fucking pins for drama. And I'd name like 3 to 4 Iron Man matches that I would rather recommend to somebody beyond that one at 60 minutes. I do think it works from those dynamics. I do think the narrative framing of the match works. And so Rob, you're watching it like a poo-brained like fucking baboon. And so you're watching and you're like, duh,
What
why
the
is Bret?
fuck?
Whoa.
And it's like, you're not supposed to be entertained by Bret. You're supposed to want Shawn to win. That's why Shawn goes over. Vince McMahon wanted you to cheer for Shawn Michaels, the guy who goes over at the end. Bret's the subtle heel there. So
I know what we're gonna do for Bret Hart. I know what we're gonna do for Bret Hart, Ibu. We're gonna do it like we do for ZSJ. You know, Bret Hart in a 15-minute vacuum. You know what I'm saying? 20-minute vacuum.
Oh no! Fuck
You
you!
know,
ZSJ thing is so
you know,
nuts.
Joe, get him out of
You know
here!
what I mean?
Get him
This
out of
is
here!
know.
Joe.
layered for me
Get him
because
the fuck out of here!
I
You
hate
know what I mean?
I don't want to do the comparison, but there's the alternative is the other day we're on the air watching Zach and Taichi, and we're like, that was a really good match. And then I see Novi scrolling. You know, he's scanning the time. He goes, "Oh, not everyone liked that match." I thought, "Oh no, it's fucking Fortune 4. That was a kick in the
No. Let me tell you what happened. Joe, do you know what happened? Do you know what
No,
happened?
I don't know. I don't know.
Joe, do you remember what I DM'd you?
Yeah, you DM me ZSJ ... and that means, you know, this match sucks. It's a vintage Ebu message. You done it with Jay White like 8 weeks in a row at one point. But I thought the match was really good, and I just saw concern coming on Novi's face, like, oh god. You know, it was very funny. But I thought the match was good.
I wake
shoot.
up, everybody. Joe replies to me, I liked it. I'm like, fuck! You know,
It was good. It was a bit long, but it was good. I liked the match.
Joe,
You know,
I felt
Joe, I was-
they were in the ring for 4 minutes, and I fell asleep for what felt like 15 minutes, and they were still wrestling.
5 in the morning. I'm not trying to see this guy just like hump the other guy, and it's just...
Yeah, but they can't wrestle the match for like you being at 5 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yes,
like,
they can.
no.
That can absolutely go. Ibu is watching this.
Yeah.
Let me.
I thought it was good.
Yeah. I like Taichi.
I'm a big New Japan guy though, so I'd probably like it more than you, right? You know, yeah.
What did you think of that New Japan show?
Oh, it was gorgeous, dude. It's been so. I was looking at the clock, going, man, you can still do 9 matches in 3 hours. Amazing, you know.
Right. Insane, isn't it?
Yeah. The opening match was
Insane
5
concept,
minutes.
WWE. I know.
The first 3 matches, bell to bell, I think clocked in at like
Half hour.
15 minutes.
Oh my god! Exactly.
It was really. The first match was 5, second was 6, and the third was like 3, I think.
Joe? What happened to pay-per-view tags just being 6 minutes?
We're back, dude. When we I'm just going to announce it here. When the Good Brothers show up in New Japan, myself and Ibu are launching an official New Japan podcast on the WrestlePurists platform. We're going to go around 6 hours a week. We're not going to be on screen. We're going to have a spreadsheet on the screen, and the show will just be us filling the spreadsheet with our respective ratings as we go.
Joe,
Yeah.
how sexy was Yuya versus Finley?
Yeah, Finley's become quite good, hasn't he? It's good stuff, man. I like it.
Come on,
I don't know. It's just good wrestling. I don't know.
Put my
I
guy
feel
over.
it.
Put my guy over. Talk about
Yuya?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Yuya. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen him wrestle before, but I've always been a fan. Out of respect for you and the fact that he gets Steamboat allegations.
Yeah.
Um,
And he looks good out there because he
classical worker is what you call him, a classical worker.
You know, good jobber.
About Yuya, Joe. He just doesn't. This sounds so cliche, but he just doesn't really approach it the way young wrestlers approach their matches.
Yeah.
But the way they build, it's not on the level of Hiroshi Tanahashi because that's like GOAT level. But like, there's a similar quality of like this kind of snowball effect to where you don't feel the match is very good or great until the time it needs to be that, and that's like towards the end. And it really does build to like a natural, like classical climax. And I really like his matches. He has my favorite 3 3/4 in the world.
But while we're doing this, let's just do this now. That Hiroki Goto Yuji Nagata match was absolutely beautiful. And
did you see the video back?
Yeah. What was so great about that match was Yuji is 56 now, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And there are many versions of that match in which, and I say this lovingly, it could come across phony. And honestly, there's versions of that match where it comes across patronizing.
Mm-hmm.
This match was so honest about where Yuji is at this point in his career that it actually was very dignified, very graceful. The match made complete sense. Goto took a very workmanlike approach as the champion, very straight ahead, because him doing that allowed Yuji's desperation and passion and emotion to shine through even more. And psychologically, all of Yuji's success came in close quarters when he could just stand right in front of Goto and throw his biggest bombs. You know, the forearm exchange is a good example.
He needed to be mobile when he needed to like, here's the thing with him. It's like the old boxer when you talk about like a Mike Tyson. Look, there's still power behind certain things that he throws at a guy. He lands the exploder, that's going to give him a shot. He's not going to hit the ropes and do this and that and zip around the ring. And no. And you're so right, Joe. The match was honest. If Yuji just had the layout of a Yuji Nagata match from 2007, the whole thing would be a lie.
Yeah.
And this is not knocking these matches, but like Danielson's matches with Jun Akiyama and Yuji Nagata on Collision, the idea was Danielson is having the match that he would have with those guys in their prime in terms of the layout. But the execution falls a bit short because you're not watching Jun Akiyama from 2004. You're not watching Yuji Nagata from 2007. You're watching them now. And so you kind of see the looseness and the flimsiness and the lack of oomph behind certain things. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas here, it's actively the story that you're watching a withered, diminished Yuji Nagata giving it the old college try. And God damn it, he gave it the old college try. And it felt like when the match ended, as emphatically as it did, the feeling I got was like, you did your best. You did your best, Yuji.
Yes.
You did your best. You really did.
You know, the best part of the match, in the post-match, Yuji wasn't victory lapping. He wasn't glad handing. He was mad and frustrated because he believed he was going to win.
That's pro wrestling.
That's why the match worked right there. Because as a fan, even though all logic told you Goto was going to win and had to win, Yuji performed in a way that allowed you to believe for that 20 minutes maybe a miracle was going to happen. And if he'd have got back up after the match and taken a victory lap, it kills that. The point of the match was that against all odds, he believed he was going to get the job done, which is why he wrestled with such passion, with such, desperation. It was a beautiful match, man. It really was. I just did the star rating joke. Like, I don't know if it's something you're going to put in the top end of your year-end list. I don't think it should be or needs to be. It can be,
But I'll remember this because
Exactly, yeah. And that's why that game is inherently flawed, right? Like, you'll actually remember that and its identity as a match. It was a beautiful match.
I thought I also want to put over commentary. Charlton and Walker Stewart did a really good job telling the story.
Yep.
I don't know who saw the but Nagata did an interview before the match, Joe, that was like making the rounds on social media. And Nagata basically said that he ran into a kid who basically told him, like, I never stopped believing in you. And he started crying about it. And he basically was saying that he was going to do this match for that kid, but he was also going to win it for Riki Choshu because Riki Choshu was his mentor. Riki Choshu was a legend in New Japan. Riki Choshu was the booker of New Japan in the 1990s, Joe. And Riki Choshu, real life and kayfabe, made the comments, Joe, that Nagata's times as champion always came during periods when the business was bad. So what does it really fucking mean? Essentially, Riki Choshu, who is a legend in New Japan, a public figure, a talking head, a mentor to Nagata, essentially diminished Nagata's place in the all-time rankings of the company. He basically, in the Pantheon, he basically was like, Nagata's not in that conversation because he was the man when it didn't matter. And Nagata made mention of this and kind of just said, even at his age, he basically said, like, I got to prove Riki Choshu wrong. And I thought Charlton made a good point because he basically said that, like, no, it was Walker who said, like, everybody at all walks of life, at all stages, they're all chasing validation from someone or something. Even no matter, and Nagata, even as deep as he is, and the legendary career that he's had, like, this is a 56-year-old man looking to win a match to be able to shove it in like a 78-year-old man's like face.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
And I just think that's so like neat because
that's the stories we want, though, dude. That's prize fighting. That's sports. That's competition. That's what I love about wrestling. That's beautiful.
It is.
It's human. It's human, is what it is.
That's a great premise because I'm sure in real life, Joe, it probably does stick in Yuji's craw that like his prime was the Inokiism era, and then the skies part and the sun is shining with Tanahashi and Okada, and he finds himself being a 43-year-old guy in the Never division, and he's happy to be there. But you have to feel a kind of way about the fact that, like, damn, like, the sun set on my prime and I couldn't even fucking enjoy this like properly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people talk about you. It's like, oh yeah, Nagata's cool. Yeah, he was the man, but like no one cared. You know. So I could see him be like, fuck off, Choshu. You know.
And before we move on, Walker Stewart is kind of a prodigy, right? I mean, his age, I think he's like 22 or 23.
It's kind of scary.
He's gonna be an incredible announcer. He's already very good, but he's going to be an incredible announcer.
He's better now than he was a year ago.
Yep. I mean, my very brief interactions with him, like, he is laser focused and locked in, man. He's pretty special.
Student of the game also.
Yeah.
Member of the Self-Made Discord.
Boom.
Black Yakuza 1994, $5. Ibu watched Suri's match and looked like that Danny DeVito clip. He understood immediately, and I get it. It was real shit. I don't know Danny DeVito clip you're talking about, but I did watch Suri on her Suriism show. I believe it was Suriism 7. She faced who did she face? She faced Suri from Stardom, and I thought the match was excellent. Another match, I believe it was in Shinjuku Face. It was a 30-minute time limit draw. Great action. It's basically what you would expect from Suri. She's excellent. Her work is among the best in the world, regardless of gender. Sayuri's a hell of a wrestler, and these two tore it up. So yeah, I did watch that. I played that in the Self-Made Discord. Again, you can join that Discord for $5 and watch all this stuff with me. $5, you know.
The DeVito clip is literally when he goes like, "I get it." He's crying. Yeah. If you saw it, you'd recognize it.
The thing is, I didn't have a come to Jesus moment watching this because I know what this woman is capable of. She's the WrestlePurists Women's Wrestler of the Year for last year, and for good reason. You know, this is a woman who's a freelancer, not signed anywhere. And she's making people take notice of what she has going on. I think she is a force for good in this industry, Joe, because somebody asked me this question as I'm watching the match. So like, hey man, like, do you think Hunter and Regal are gonna try to get her? And here's the truth, Joe. And this isn't like a scoop. This is like pretty out there, I think. They try to get her back at the end of 2023. And she said no. And I think if you want wrestling to stay healthy and right and just, you shouldn't want her to go back to WWE, at least not yet.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's not just that she's a good wrestler outside those companies. She's a good wrestler outside those companies, putting on these freelance shows that she's headlining, and like that's
Yeah.
the spirit of Japanese wrestling that like is kind of dying. Is the self-promoted, star-promoted shows where like one star just kind of puts together a card of people, headlines it, draws money doing it, makes a name, travels the world, freelances. That's pro wrestling, and she's a force for good in the industry and for women's wrestling, and to take that away and feed that to a machine, I think is not ideal, personally.
Yeah. It's a challenging thing to talk about at times. Not in her case, but in generally. Like most wrestlers in a vac, like we talked about Jeff Cobb earlier, right? Like
Mm.
it's hard not to look at his situation and his age and kind of go, good for Jeff Cobb. You know, if he's
Oh,
going to get that deal,
makes
like
yeah,
right.
42, put in the work, put in the
Yeah.
hours, put in the time.
The issue is you do that enough times and then you take a half step back and you go, I'm not sure this is a healthy wrestling ecosystem and economy we have here.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's very difficult to speak on things like when a guy does make a jump, it's hard to speak on it fairly because all that guy is trying to do is what's best for their career. But from our perspective as fans, selfishly, what we're thinking is we want this talent to be spread more evenly. That's going to be one of the big stories of the 2020s because for the first time, we have not only two national promotions in the States, but two national promotions that are fully aware of the scenes in Japan and in Mexico. So that is going to be different. And I think we've kind of seen some of the results of that, right? Like Okada being a full-time guy in the States is really strange. Really, really strange. And I don't begrudge him personally. That's the point. It's just, I think we're seeing the kind of shift in that regard. So having someone like Suri doing her own shows that get real buzz, and the fact that she can win Wrestler of the Year awards, I think she came in second on our awards for Wrestler of the Year overall. You know, regardless, Wrestler of the Year second.
And think about it, Joe.
A special, very special.
It's not as easy to access her stuff as it is to watch Monday Night Raw,
right,
or Dynamite, and yet
yeah,
again, she forced people to take notice. There's smaller stuff happening all over the place, but like if I asked the live chat how many people are up to date with GLEAT or All Japan Pro Wrestling, very few people would answer.
yeah.
And
She's
it's
made herself an exception, which is hard, really hard.
She's saying, "I'm forcing you to seek me out and find what I'm doing."
Yeah, because with how accessible wrestling is now, there's the pieces for a very healthy wrestling ecosystem.
Yeah,
right. It's just a matter of different things changing and factors changing that that we get more of those. Hopefully we do, man. I don't know. I'm not trying to pretend that things are bad now. There's a lot of positives in wrestling currently. But I do think it's hard not to kind of fantasy book. What if this guy that's full if on WWE or AEW's depth chart was actually like the top guy here? Or you know what I'm saying? Like it's hard not to do that.
That's why I get so animated about Mike Santana, because we talk about the American dream. He's the wrestling dream. He's what the industry is supposed to be. You're supposed to kind of go out on your own terms. You're supposed to fall on your own merits and your own sword. Your fate shouldn't be in the hands of a promoter. It shouldn't. Your fate. It's not an ideal situation when your career trajectory and your fate is in the hands of Tony Khan or Paul Levesque. It should be in your own hands. And I know that's increasingly difficult because of the lay of the land and the fact that if you want to make guaranteed six-figure money, you got to work for the big two. But this guy took his career into his own hands. He said, "Look, I'm in fucking catering. I'm in a situation that I don't love, and I just don't matter." Joe, these two big companies, between the two of them, employ over 300 people.
Yeah. It's a lot of wrestlers, man.
People. And the sad thing is, here's the thing, Joe. I'd say 260 of them are extremely talented. And yet, how many of them truly matter? You're looking at 30-ish people, maybe 40. And that's a sad we are in an insane period where so many great wrestlers are not making a dent. And in the case of Mike, he sat there and said, "I'm going to make myself fucking matter. And it's not going to be in this situation. I'm going to break away and I'm going to do something about it." And I always love and respect and support wrestlers that take their career into their own hands, because that's taking agency for yourself. Because at the end of the day, bookers are gonna have their tenure and they're gonna do what they do, but you're only gonna be 33 one time. You're only gonna be 34 one time. You're only gonna be 30
Right.
one time. So it's on you to make that count. And that's why I always root for those guys. It's why I always support those guys. It's why I always encourage those guys. It's why I wanted Nakajima to work out. Katsuhiko Nakajima going to All Japan saying I'm going to be my own man and I'm going to do the Inoki thing and I'm going to be a heel. Like that had so much promise, and then it didn't work out, unfortunately. He goes to GLEAT. I'm going to be the shoot style guy. I'm going to do this and that. And I was like, please work. And it hasn't, but could you imagine if that guy got over and was drawing houses and forced the wrestling public to watch GLEAT? Like, imagine if like people were just like covering GLEAT on Samoa just because of what he's doing.
We need individuals. That's the thing. We need individuals in wrestling.
Yeah, that's pro wrestling. It's not about the companies. It's about these people going out there and saying, "Fuck you! I don't give a fuck what you watch. You're gonna see what I'm doing. I don't care what you're a fan of. You have to watch me because I'm gonna force you to keep an eye on what I'm doing because I'm garnering attention." That's the industry. That's the business, man. That's pro wrestling. So I don't know how this turned into a state of the industry conversation, but
that was my bad. But yeah,
no, I don't mind because
it's relevant. Yeah,
because it's very relevant, and it's relevant to Suri because she's not signed anywhere, dude.
Yeah,
she's not signed anywhere, and she's winning awards, and she's charting high in these awards.
Right.
And I know WrestlePurists is like like in the grand scheme of things, we're still niche, but a sizable amount of people support what we have to do. And the fact that in that base, people were like, "Yo, Suri's fucking dope." Like,
dude, look at the other categories. Like, there weren't a ton of niche winners.
No, that's what I'm saying.
She's just made that much of an impression. It's like it perforates all across like the online. And again, within reason, we're not deluded. We don't think she's going to come out on Raw and get a big fucking holy shit chant. But like, people are aware of what she's doing. It's to a scale, and that is hard to do when you're doing it as an individual. Very, very hard. I mean, she's great, obviously. Incredible wrestler.
Absolutely. Joe T. Parks in the chat said, "My God, we've hit hour 2.5, and we're getting Omega Okada level in the dome work right now." I feel like we got warm, Joe, towards minute 60, and we said, "All right, guys, All Japan's closing stretch here. Let's
I wonder how bad it's about to get because I feel like we've peaked."
We'll see. We'll see.
Double superplex.
There's still a bunch of super chats left to go.
Shit.
Thoughts on Oba? It was cool meeting you at NXT. Corey David, $2.
Corey, it was you I ran into? I ran into a guy, Joe. I think I might have told you this. That was just looked at me and was like, "Ibu?" I was like, "Hey, what's up?" So Corey, if that was you, man, it was cool meeting you. My thoughts on Oba are, Monty's real theatrical about the guy last year, and so it made me kind of want to not like him. Because it was very annoying, but he wasn't wrong in that the dude had like the tools that really made him appealing on paper, right? But it's not just potential now. It's not just the outer things that stand out like the size and the look. He's now putting it together in the ring in a way that is like kind of staggering. I'm not trying to be hyperbolic here because I like him, but I'm not like the fucking Oba Femi cheerleader, the designated guy, right? But Joe, there's a vibe to his matches now, an atmosphere to his matches that I compare to an early Walter. Not in the same way, but there's just an atmosphere to the match where it's like, this is his match. He knows how to do his match. He's very comfortable with his match. And his domination during his stretches and control are just so
he's unbelievable
and enjoyable to observe. Yeah, go ahead.
And I very seldom would do this, but in his case, I think it's fair to. Unless something crazy happens, like physically or something unforeseen outside, he's like a lock to be a genuine top guy that headlines WrestleMania and stuff, dude. Like a lock. And I very seldom would say that. What box does he not tick? Like even his promo is much further along than you'd expect for someone so new, Like he has physical charisma, he's explosive athletically, his work suggests that he's like getting it and figuring it out, and he can talk.
Mm-hmm.
There's not really a good reason he can't soar to the top. And if he doesn't, and it's not an external factor, it will almost certainly be purely incompetence because
Yeah, no,
he is blockbuster. You know,
I'll be very, very critical and mean to Paul Levesque if they don't nail this one. I think it's kind of a hard one not to. I
yeah,
think when they're ready to call him up, again, Monty did this a lot when he was doing the thing of like, man, I just make him a main eventer, and like I didn't know, I wasn't sure. I honestly think right now that like
he's right. Yeah,
I'd make
and
him
I
like
also agree with Monty's take that like the Bron Breaker call up was too gradual for what Oba should get. Oba should actually get brought up when it's ready to like push the button and just go nuts. You know?
like if if I were to talk to Paul Levesque right now and said, is your landscape right now set up in a way where Oba Femi can just be the guy? And if he says no, I kind of want to get to certain things first. I want to do this and that. My response would be, cool, keep him in NXT then. Don't call him up.
Or better yet, imagine being able to send him to Japan for 2 months, dude.
It'd be awesome.
That would be great for him.
Mm-hmm.
So you got options. That's the beauty. That should be the beauty of these working relationships, right?
And respect to Omos, who I love. Look at how he got over in Japan, and Oba
Oh
Femi
my god, yeah.
17,000 times the wrestler Omos. Could you imagine Oba Femi and fucking no? First of all, Oba Femi would be the best wrestler in no. Besides, like, no, he would just be the best wrestler in no. I'll straight up say it. So yeah.
Where is Omos?
Sugi still exists, brother.
Where is Omos?
I'm taking. Oof. Yeah, Sugiura has gone down a touch in the last 2 to 3 years, to where I would take 2025 Oba Femi over Takashi Sugiura, marginally. I personally, I would.
Where's Omos at?
Nowhere.
Why?
I don't fucking know. Noah thought they were gonna have him for a while. That's why they gave him belts.
You could tell, yeah. It's just fucking stupid, man. Like,
they were under the belief, okay, you guys have Inamura, you do what you want with him. We have your guy, and this is just what it's gonna be. Very, very weird. He was getting over. He was having a really good time with it too.
There has to be something for Omos to do. I'm sorry. I'm not. He doesn't have to be able to wrestling 20-minute matches, but he's a fucking giant, and he has
even if it's to lose to a giant you want to push. Like, why can't Braun Breaker spear him out of his fucking shoes?
There's also like something to his personality that I think is money, and so like you could present him as just generic giant, and that's fine because he's a fucking giant, right? There's always room for a giant in wrestling, but I think if you actually got creative, there is something interesting to that dude. If you watch him if you watch him in real life, there's something to him that I think people would really connect with. But again, that would take a lot of effort.
He's a really nice guy.
Yes, and it comes through in a way that I think could get over. But I'm not sure we're ever going to see if that would work or not.
It's that magnetic giant man thing that Shaq had as a basketball player. I don't know about now as a pundit, but as a basketball player, there's something very magnetic about Shaquille O'Neal and just kind of his irreverence, being this like almost big kid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go Birds XTL $4.99. What championships don't make the Mania card? Huh, those mid card belts.
Women's tag champions will wrestle on the show. I don't think their belts will be defended. I don't think the women's U.S. title will be defended. I see it really depends on certain things coming into place.
I think the Raw tag straps aren't making it.
Yeah, unless. Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah.
There's a car. See, if Triple H wasn't a fucking 7-match merchant, there's a way you could book like an interesting 9-match card on each night. That's not fucking long, dragged out, and boring.
Thing, Joe.
But of course,
Rob, I don't mind 9 matches on one night, but a WWE 9 matches is 5 hours. So
exactly because they remember Evo, they have to do 30 minutes of fucking commercials in between each match. Even though each match has a commercial in it now at WrestleMania every year for some reason, but
yeah, I feel the belt's not making it. Terrion Gordon, 199. Thoughts on Mercedes JD House of Glory drama? I don't have any thoughts on the House of Glory drama. My real thoughts on it are, how do I put this? I'm at a stage now where I try to avoid issues that don't involve me, especially when it's other people in the media space. People are going to have their run-ins and conflicts with people, and if it doesn't involve me or pertain to me, then really there's just like no need for me to weigh in or do anything unless somebody killed somebody. But it appears that whether it's Mercedes or AEW, one of them didn't want JD on commentary for her match. They reserve the right to do that since they have the high ground, since they're the one feeding the promotion the star, and that just kind of is what it is. I'm not going to be somebody jumping on social media to fucking throw parade on anybody.
Here's my thoughts.
That's hold on. That's just kind of what happened, and I think I'm in no place to tell anybody anything, but like, and this is nothing against Terrion, because like Terrion just he just wants to know the thing, but like I want to get out of the position where people want my take on everything that happens everywhere about anything. You know what I mean, Joe?
I know what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah,
when I was informed this had become dramatic or controversial, I could not really believe it. So I really haven't got nothing on it. I think I think the idea that I'm supposed to be like outraged that this happened, I find to be I can't even do the maths on that. You know what I'm saying?
I sincerely I had no reaction to it. I just that they didn't, whoever it was, Tony Mercedes didn't want him on commentary for the match, and House of Glory clearly obliged, and he went, he gave his thoughts on it on social media, and that's kind of just that. I don't really know why it had to become the thing of the day, but I actually do know why. It's because there's no football right now, so it just kind of is what it is. That's the situation.
And man, it's not putting any money in my pocket, so I don't give a fuck. No disrespect, Terrion. Riley Walker, $5. Biggest day out, biggest day in our sport. Jesus Christ, I'm washed. Good Brothers versus the Powers of Pain announced.
In a steel cage, by the way.
What?
Steel cage match, yeah, legitimately.
Wait, the real Powers of Pain?
Yes. This is the Good Brothers in a cage match.
The early 90s Powers of Pain.
Yes, sir. And the render is like prime Powers of Pain.
Swap is out.
Oh my god.
We're back, dude.
That's gonna be so terrible.
It's gonna be fucking awesome.
When is
Gallows
that?
might bleed in that. I don't know. It can't come soon enough. We need it.
I'm gonna tell Carl the Blade.
Swap is out.
He'll simply say no. That's what Gallows is there for, surely.
The devil lay. Will a single good punch be thrown by the Powers of Pain?
Oh, I think the punches will be sweet, dude.
I feel like work punches are the first tool to go from old wrestlers, unless you're certain guys.
That's like Machine Gun's favorite bit. He always goes like, "You don't want us reviewing wrestling because I'll get into the weeds about who has good punches and who doesn't."
Are you Ibu? Are you shitting on the Warlord and the Barbarian right now?
Rob, they were awesome. It's 2025.
Oh, yo, I was about to
but they're gonna tell stories.
Yo, I'm trying to see
Warlord versus Bulldog is one of my favorite golden era WWF matches.
I'm trying to see that in 2025. Not gonna lie,
because you're and you have weird wrestling taste.
I think Bob still works like semi. I don't know. I don't want to talk myself into this. Look,
yeah, come on, Joe.
This is what wrestling's all about, dude.
It is.
It's not going to try and be a Mac classic, is it? But it's for the locals, It's fucking Powers of Pain and the Good Brothers. Let's go. It's a cage match.
I guess so.
This is Americana.
The New York Knicks.
Oh, brother. Next super chat, dick eating.
They said Roman was bigger than Cody, by the way. Look, I got a lot of heat for saying 4 words, Joe. I don't know if you saw the tweet. I wrote Cody has passed Roman, and I now have 1,500 replies to this tweet.
Why does it always have to be about Big Roman?
All I know is when Roman was champion, stock was going up.
Someone asked
Cody
Joe,
champion.
A lot of people were doing, why are you thinking about Roman during a Cody segment?
Yes.
Why are you bringing up Roman? Why does that have to circle back to Roman? Why does it always have to be Cody Roman? And I'm going to answer you why. Because they are the face of this era. You should be happy that I brought up Roman Reigns. Is Roman Reigns living rent-free in my brain when I watch WWE? Yes, he does. Because at the end of the day, he is the sun. But what we have now learned is that Cody-Rhodes is the solar system. And as WWE has expanded, we've realized that there's more beyond the sun. We have ventured out and we've stepped back, and it's like, wow, holy shit, look at this. But all jokes aside, to be completely serious here, Stone Cold Steve Austin is intrinsically tied to The Rock. Savage is tied to Hogan. Every generation, there's a guy tied with another guy. You can't mention Magic Johnson without mentioning Larry Bird. This is the game. You should want this. These two will be debated till the end of time, and they should be. And if they are, it means that they both did the job and they left their mark. Okay, they left their mark on an industry. So when we do the documentaries about this Triple H era, they're going to attempt to credit Triple H for a lot of this, Joe. And to me, I look at this time, and it's not the Triple H era. It's not the Renaissance era. It's not the whatever you want to call it. It's the Cody and Roman Reigns era. And who is 1A and who's 1B? That should be something that you talk about with fans until
But
the
the
end.
problem is, this is the challenge with doing that. Roman became a top guy 10 years ago. Now, will anyone look at that stuff glowingly from like an, commercial point of view? No, I think his work in that time was genuinely good, but it wasn't a successful run, right? The big dog Roman Reigns wasn't a successful top babyface. But it's still stuff he did. He did spend those years representing the company at every turn, being, on the face of every poster, having to work with Shane McMahon in Saudi Arabia and having to do pay-per-view main events with Baron Corbin or whoever.
I'm going to go and ask you this question.
Yeah, sure.
You're directing a documentary on this boom, right?
Yeah.
Where do you start the story? Because to me, you know where I start the story? You know what I would do? I would show WrestleMania 32. WrestleMania 32, Roman Reigns beats Paul Levesque, and he's booed. Earlier that night, a man by the name of Stardust was in the opening ladder match. Wasn't over. Lost. Quits the company. Roman Reigns wins the title. No one cared. He's still there. And then you do a montage of Roman Reigns over the next 4 years, toiling, doing his best in spite of terrible creative, right? Cody-Rhodes creates or helps reinvents himself, helps in aiding in creating AEW, this and that, so on and so forth. You do the split screen where Cody-Rhodes is riding high in AEW. Roman Reigns is the tribal chief now in the pandemic. And then you see the paths intertwining and converging. 2022 hits, boom, it's WrestleMania, whatever the fuck it is, 38. Roman Reigns is now the double champion. He's the ruler of the universe. He has both world titles in WWE. And on that same weekend, Cody-Rhodes came back. The stories are tied together.
No, that's right. But what I'm saying is but it's like there's clearly you constantly are linking them like they're both still racing, and they're not.
They are.
They're not, dude. Roman came back as a babyface. He's worked like 4 shows since then, dude. He's done. His feet are up. They're not in the same race anymore. Like, because that stuff he did in the 2010s sucked, it doesn't mean that it didn't actually happen. He physically did it. When you've done that for as long as he did it, he doesn't have any interest to be in the top babyface. He's Roman Reigns now. He's the tribal chief.
Oh, he doesn't.
Done.
Thank you, bro. Like, he's making a shit ton of money. Like, he doesn't.
He's done. Yeah, like he still wrestles. Do you really think Roman's that's what he's pursuing at this point?
You know what I think is the real epilogue to this story? They have to wrestle again.
Sure, I would love for them to wrestle again. And I'm not saying you're wrong about this era being their era, to be clear, but yeah.
I think they need to be really protective of when they pull the trigger on this, to be completely honest with you. Because Cody Rhodes is like definitively the top guy right now. He beat Roman Reigns at Mania 40. But the finish was like Avengers Endgame. You know what I mean? Like it's 90,000 run-ins and all that shit. 39 million run-ins, the heel wins. Who's better? Who's the better wrestler?
We sure need that.
Whose company is this?
Yes, we need that.
That needs to be the story. That needs to headline a fucking stadium. You could do that. God fucking damn it. I'd do next Mania that or whatever the fuck you want to do. That can headline a big time show. And I think that's the thing you do to put a bow on all of this, to be honest with you. It's the fairy tale ending that Rock and Austin didn't really get to have, but then kind of had at 19, in my opinion. It's just something that I think about a lot, to be completely honest with you.
I just pulled it up here, okay?
Yeah.
in 2015, do we agree that, like, in terms of push, Roman was the top babyface in 2015, right? Like, for the most part. I mean, obviously, Cena's around,
Yeah.
so it's split. He wrestled 213 matches that year, dude. He did 159, 145, 120. Like,
Definitely log the hours. You know what I mean? Like he's done his what's the
that's
word?
what makes his story complicated,
Right.
is the work of his career in terms of actual effort comes with it in an era that will be entirely forgotten because no one wants to remember it fondly. Because let's be clear, I'm not saying they're wrong to. Like, it's not good stuff. I think, again, he has really good matches at times.
Yeah.
But what makes it a challenging comparison is the mentality that Cody has now that we all appreciate so much about, I'm going to make every town, I'm going to do every media appearance, I'm going to have this belt over my shoulder, I'm going to,
Yeah, that's Roman like 9 years ago.
Exactly, and that's why that's why the comparison's tough, because that isn't anyone's fault. That's just, you can't like erase that because the stuff wasn't fondly remembered. You know what I'm saying here?
I do, and it's why I get why Roman, the person, right?
Yes.
I get why he is very protective of what he does and how he does it as the tribal chief. Because for him, it was like, I did it your way, and I put the hours in, and I put the work in. Now we're gonna do it mine, and we're gonna take this to another level. And that's how he frames it when he tells the story to people. Like that's what Roman Reigns personally believes. Like this bloodline shit took wrestling to another level, and I deserve to finally have
Personally.
that. No, but that's what he says it to people. And he's like, that's what I deserve to have he sees it as like a victory cigar, like that run, that bloodline run. It's like, all right, I'm back now. I do it my way, and look at what the fuck happened, and look at the results. And so, yes, this is Roman Reigns' epilogue. Like after 40, he is just chilling, and this isn't like, if you want to make it a scoop, he told people at Mania 40, I said this a million times on the air. He told people backstage, like, basically that like his last real big goal in wrestling is to help Jacob Fatu, and that's the words of a guy that feels like he finished the game. So in that respect, he is no longer racing with Cody-Rhodes.
Yeah.
But
so effectively, if that's the case, why do y'all stay on his dick? Like, if that's the case, why y'all just continue to just be on his dick?
He's 38 years old. He's not 59.
Yeah, but
The Rock was done with this shit by when he was 29, like 30.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's age is not really the fact. It's experience and what the guys have done, and he's run his race. I think, man. And again, that doesn't mean your point. Like, it is their era, and they will be tied forever, no doubt. Those WrestleMania matches will be remembered. But I think I don't buy that they're racing or chasing the same spot. I think they're tied together for different reasons. I think Cody's run stands atop that mountain that was, that the bloodline thing was,
Cody-Rhodes, if you see this, feel free to cite me in your next interview with a talking head that you do. Because someone's going to clip this and he's going to see it and he's probably going to reference it. He's done it before. I think as a shoot, Joe.
Yeah.
I think as a shoot, it keeps him up at night that he hasn't pinned Roman Reigns clean yet. I think 100% as a shoot. I think it's like, what could I compare this to? There's no natural comparison off the top of my head, but I just really feel like in his head, it's like, yeah, I'm the man. Yeah, I faced The Rock as a heel. I'm facing John Cena as a heel. I'm the champion. I've held the belt for a year. I'm the face of the franchise. I'm the QB1. I finished my story. But it's just like the competitor in Cody-Rhodes. You want to get back there on the big stage and leave no doubt. Because that's what a boxer would do, and that's what a fighter would do. And I genuinely believe with Cody-Rhodes, it's the exact same thing.
I'm not sure we're ever going to get the match. I think, as a fan, I would love to see the match. I think that's the... I don't know if this was interesting at all, but it was a conversation and we'll move on. But I would love to see the match, definitely.
You can't leave it at 1-1. When Wesley Wiggins...
Shit. You even read it. Sorry.
Wesley Wiggins, fine.
Yeah, there's so much Cody cocksuck in my ear. I couldn't focus. I'm sorry.
Wesley Wiggins, $5. Why is the guy that attacked Dragon Lee yelling at me about Jey Uso? Well, that's Rob.
I don't know what you mean.
Are you Grande Americano, Rob?
Maybe not. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really fuck with that gimmick. Unironically, I fuck with that gimmick. She's doing good stuff right now. Okay, Grande. Bryant Heath, $4.99. Thank you for the super chat, brother. Am I alone in thinking that Raw opening with 20-minute promos angles is great? I'm always sports entertained by them.
It's very situational, bro. Like if it's a good, my philosophy is if it's big time box office business to attend to and it's the most hot thing on the show and it's the hottest the show is going to be for the entire night, then take as much time as you need and do what you got to do. That's why when Rock went 40, I
Yo,
don't care. But if it's something I don't care about and it's not that good, then no. There were periods
yo,
there Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley beef where they're going 15 minutes at the start of the show and it didn't work.
I was so afraid that they were gonna make that the main event. And then when they told me it was kicking off the show, I was like, thank God. Because I was
Yeah,
like, I'm not trying to wait 2.5 hours to see that, bro.
yeah, I agree.
So thank you for the super chat, Brian. Is he borrowing 94 $2? Which of y'all buying tickets to Tyrus's show?
Rob,
Yeah, yeah, no, bro. I could not. Yeah. What is it? What is he gonna do? Dance around on the stage like a dinosaur for 5 minutes? Anyway, Broadway Joe, $2. Cinema verdict, immaculate aura, lame content. Who's that? Who's talking about?
I think Cena is what he's going for there, and the
Oh,
yeah.
cinema
brother.
suits for that.
Elijo Del
Hey, guess what? You watched.
Yeah.
You watched.
Elijo Del Kaneki, $4.99. Great to see a canceled guy make a comeback on wrestling's SNL, much like Shane Gillis-esque. Very much Shane Gillis-esque. I guess so. I guess that's what this is. I guess. Is that it? Oh. Jumanji Hunter Alt, $2. Pat not being on comment is such a blessing. Yeah, I gotta agree.
Oh my god, bro! Last week was so bad. It got insufferable, bro. Him just like it went from him like basically doing bits to like him. Oh my god, this is amazing in my ear every 5 fucking minutes. And he's doing the yeeting and he's damn it, and I'm like, yo, I legit crashed out on Twitch. I was like, yo, what is wrong with this nigga? Like I was like, yo, does he have does he have something like what's going on?
I'm not even being look. People think sometimes I'm being performative when I criticize McAfee, but like the bottom line is, I just think that his approach to commentary doesn't fit certain moments in WWE. And the big easy example is the John Cena heel turn at Elimination Chamber, where it didn't ruin the moment, but his contributions certainly didn't help it. I thought it's not the right tone for certain situations. If you want to just have fun and support Jey Uso and do the yeets, like that's fine.
You know who we need? You know who we need? Get more out of that dreg of a promotion
Oh my
named Maple
God.
Leaf Wrestling and
Oh
get more Ronaldo back on my glorious WWE TV shows.
I'm sure Joe.
They got him commentating Bully Ray and Jinder Mahal matches, bro. Let's come on.
I like Moro. I
I like
am
Moro, too.
surprised that he hasn't been like, I haven't heard anything about him coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And like Triple H used him in NXT, So I am
He
surprised. Yeah.
He asked him in 2022.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the
Hey, man,
schedule.
it's 2020.
Right?
It's 2025.
Before the season premiere in 2022, and he got a no.
It's 2025. Things can change. Opinions always change.
Because I remember the NXT deal worked like because the schedule was much more suited to Moro. Like you could just do the tapings and then do the takeovers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's totally different being on the road for every week's of TV. So
does he still do boxing, Moro?
I know he does the gimmick fights.
Yeah, I try to think when I lost because Showtime are out of the game now, so I don't know what Moro's up to.
Which is a big indicator of the game being dead.
Yeah, no HBO or Showtime. Makes me feel like
it's over.
At least we got the zone.
Fuck, man, the zone boxing.
Yeah, bro.
Horrible.
And I'm a big boxing guy, but actually, when I read that Showtime headline, I said, "Oh man,
Yeah,
we're in big trouble."
Bob the Builder, $2.79. Sorry, but Punk Roman Rollins main eventing that one. I actually don't think they're going to, nor should they.
Yeah.
The entire idea of the storyline is that Seth Rollins is going to make sure that Punk does not succeed, no matter what. And he doesn't want Punk to main event Mania. Punk's dream is to main event Mania. He did not win the Rumble. Seth costed him the Chamber. It would then make no sense for his match to main event Mania anyway. If you're a Punk fan, you should want Punk to win the Rumble and main event Mania in the last match of night 2 for a belt. That should be the first time he finally achieves his dream. For him to just get what he wanted this whole time anyway, in a 3-way for no belt, doesn't make any sense. So it shouldn't close the show.
Yeah. Everything you said makes sense there, but like, I think Roman's main event in the show.
I think the ladies close night 1.
I hope so.
Thank you, Bob.
All right. Will Chisholm $2. So Julia will join Damage Control. Brother.
Wait, what?
What?
Yeah,
That's a hell of a leap, man.
Kind of like, Penta joined the LWO, and kind of like Phoenix is joining the Legado del Fantasma, right? Oh brother.
Joe, it is funny that even they had like the self-respect to go to not put Penta in the LWO. You know, like they just
Give it time. Give it time.
you know what's funny, Joe? The day you see him put that shirt on is the day they went, fuck it, you know.
Yeah, I think Pence has done great, to be honest. I'm just kidding. I think he's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. My food is here, but Ricky Saints and the Metaphor Girls equals money.
I'm not aware if that's a thing that's going to happen, but that sounds good on paper to me. Lash Legend's awesome, and Jakar Jackson is a great look. And I think if they were with Ricky Saints, that would be sick.
Did Ricky work at the MSG show?
He cut a promo in New York, was very mad he didn't come out to the live crowd. We were really happy to see him. And
yeah,
the middle section tried to start a Tony Fumble chant, and my section was trying to start an AEW chant, which is very strange. And
oh shit,
yeah, it was very. You know what I actually liked about being at NXT, Joe? It was the first This is so weird. Of all places, NXT. I felt like I was in a Smart crowd.
Oh baby.
Like an actual like shoot Smart crowd.
Did you start talking about Tajiri and stuff like that?
People actually were making like weird references behind me to like random things. I'm genuine. I'm dead serious.
It's important, man. That shit needs to exist. In a small room in New York, it has to exist.
Yeah, and so the fact that it's New York, small room, I'm getting these weird. I'm telling my brother, he's like, "What are you talking?" I'm like, "This is like a Manhattan Center vibe right now, man." And he's just like, "What?" And I'm like, "No, I'm telling you, man." Because dudes behind me are like, AE-Dub. And I'm like, all right, okay.
I'm gonna use this platform now to make a point about the MSG building we're discussing, because unless I'm mistaken, this is not a building they've run often, right? Am I correct in saying this? The theater, I mean.
I think it's the first time I've ever run it.
So back in the glory days of NXT Black and Gold, I'm trying to find this here. They run, I'm almost certain, a house show at the MSG Theatre. And I'm trying to find it. I probably will not be able to now that I'm looking for it. Okay, I think I've got it. This needs to be on the vault. Folks, please help. MSG Theatre, November 2016. Main event, DIY and Shinsuke versus Joe and the Revival.
Sounds pretty good.
Undercard matches such as Asuka, Ember Moon, and Nikki Cross. For some reason, Bobby Roode wrestled Cedric Alexander in a Holbert Invitational. We have No Way Jose and Roderick Strong in the opener at MSG Theatre.
Oh my!
And guess who won that match?
No Way Jose.
Oh yeah, baby. No Way Jose.
Oh my
Second match here, the Iconics over Sonya Deville and Liv Morgan. That'll give you a hell of a thumbnail on the Vault channel, right?
What else is on this undercard? This show doesn't sound that good.
It sounds like shit, dude. Ty Dillinger and Eric Young.
Yeah.
TM61 and Sanity. We need the tape, man. It sounds like kind of lame. But
it sounds pretty fucking fire.
It sounds like something Rob and I would watch.
I was gonna say Rob would watch this. They would drop the link. They would drop the link, and Rob would be like, "Oh, we're so locked in."
There's another one.
NXT Vault.
We need it, dude. There's another one like Center Stage that has an American Alpha FTR match, and like, we need that, dude. Center Stage FTR. My God.
Y'all keep dropping all these bullshit Billy Jack Haynes versus Thunderfoot matches. Y'all need to drop these fucking NXT live events. Let's go.
Rob puts me in a weird position because I'm inclined to defend Billy Jack Haynes, but he killed his wife, so I cannot do that.
Bro, he's so bad. He's bad, bro. I'm sorry. Bro, him versus Thunderfoot is the worst match I've ever watched in my my entire life. Oh boy,
This is a guy that watches 2011 WWE on Discord.
Sin Cara is better than Billy Jack Haynes.
Ryan's, well,
Oh, yeah.
obviously. Ryan Cicchini, 279. When does the Evolve review start? Never.
Yo, Evolve. I can't lie, bro. First show was good. Yo, but that it's Gall nigga and all these other y'all gotta stop putting these niggas on my TV, bro. Stop.
I'll say one thing about the show that may appeal to Joe. It
Oh,
does sincere.
Jesus. You have too much time on your hands, guys.
You know what it really is, Joe? I pop into
Whoa,
Discord and there's like 12 people willing to stream things to me, right? It's much easier to keep up with things, Joe, when you're on your phone, right? Just looking at it and the guy's just showing you something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'll be cutting vegetables for my dinner and I have my phone on and like it just evolved there.
It's just,
you know?
but like, Evolve was an important part of my life, dude, you know? Watching fucking streams that get breaking to watch like Roderick Strong matches, and it would run shows in these horrible buildings with very quiet crowds, and now it's like it's Peter Rosenberg on commentary on 2B. Like, it's just...
he is. I can't lie, he is really bad at commentary. Like, if you ignore the commentary, it's a decent. It's an
I
show.
I feel like one of the 10. There's like 10, maybe 10 of us, probably too many. 5. I feel like what ECW fans felt like when they came back in 06, you know. But there's only like 5 of us that remember Evolve, so we're just, where's Timothy Thatcher, you know?
Joe, you see the Evolve graphic, or you see the ECW graphic, and it says like, like Big Show versus Just Incredible, and you're just like, fuck, man.
Shit, if Timothy Thatcher fucking works there as a coach, then shit, put him on Evolve.
Dude,
If you want to put him
Evolve
on
was a
actual
nasty
TV.
promotion, dude. It was nasty. Like, they'd take matches that would be at PWG and would be these big, like, booming fucking, you know, moves matches, and they would just grapple and Evolve. And, like, the crowd would just kind of, like, sit there, you know? It was so sick, man.
Oh
It was
my
a big,
God.
important part of my life.
Really
Evolve
weird
Johnny
compliment.
Gargano. Oh my God.
Different, bro. It was different, yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ryan. We will never do an Evolve review, but
No.
I did watch the first episode and I didn't hate it. So that's your big review. Dame 499. Io should win at Mania. 1 month title reign is insane. The Japanese wrestler hasn't won at Mania in 26 years. That's got to change. I'm sorry. Who's the last one to do it? Tenry? 26 years ago. That would have been. Oh no, it's probably Ataka at 14. That's probably what that is. Joe, why are you watching Mania 15 of all shows on your channel? I saw that and I was like, why?
Because I love wrestling. That's why.
Joe, why couldn't you just move it 1 year up?
The reason is it's an anniversary, and it's a show that we can do a grin along for and actually have fresh reactions, because no one knows that show front to back. No one does, you know?
It's oblivious.
Speaking of Mania, I'm going to plug it at the end of the show, but speaking of Mania.
Joe, that show is the sole reason why Attitude Era Manias have a bad reputation, because the actual truth is, Joe, this is a hot take. Mania 2000 is a mess, but it's actually not a terrible show at all.
No.
14 is good. 17 is excellent. It's this show that has it's hell.
But have you considered that?
Yes.
I'm gonna like book Manny the Hooper for that show, and we're gonna watch WrestleMania 15? You know, like, I mean,
you're gonna finish that show and tag Vince Russo and write "fuck you."
Yo, shout out to Manny was the one that put me on the Hogan versus Vince.
Yeah, and that was a grin along experience, you know.
And
what if somehow, some way, I
You
leave
like
it
this-
a WrestleMania 15 truther?
I'll tell you to go fuck yourself. There's a zero chance of that, but you know what I would like look at as smart money? Is there any other match on the show that will weirdly like maybe
Let's have a look.
Everything else is like a 3.
Because I remember when we did that one night only show, there was like random tag matches. I was going, that's pretty good.
So that's what I'm saying. So like, you do have this superpower though, where maybe like, do you remember when we watched Survivor Series '98? You did like Regal versus X-Pac or some shit like that. You know, like that.
Yeah, this show does look like shit.
Joe, it's crazy. You know what's funny is Backlash right afterwards was like a million times better, which was a WWE tradition.
It's only like 2 hours and 45 minutes long though, man.
It's like It's about as bad as some of Russo's WCW stuff.
I've found the Holbrook match here.
Right, which one is it?
Jeff and Owen over D'Lo and Test, 3 minutes 58 seconds. Oh baby.
Okay, that's gonna work for you. That's gonna work.
Yeah, that would be good.
That'll work for you. The main event is awesome, but
you know. Now, in other news, we are doing that, but we're also doing Sakura Genesis, LNG flagship, and we're doing Windy City Riot because we are now a New Japan Pro Wrestling platform.
Guys,
you know what you should have done? Another show that's not considered good, but like you would actually like it, is Mania 18. People think that show's bad, and like, I don't know. I like watching it.
Yo, guys, they dropped the graphic.
For what?
They dropped the graphic.
For?
I wish they would allow me to share my screen, but they dropped the graphic for Mox and Cope, and this graphic is gas. We might get a good match this week, y'all.
Rob.
No, they dropped a new one. They dropped a new one, and it's kind of gas.
Is there a stipulation added to it?
No, it's a graphic, bro. But it's a gas graphic. I'm saying, bro, like you gotta. I just posted it on my Twitter. It's kind of neat.
AO tweeted earlier that they changed the name of Hologram and Commander because people were bearing the name because I don't know if you saw it, Joe, but they were calling them the Lucha Stars or something like that.
Jesus.
Everyone was like, "What the fuck?" And they changed it to something like far, far, far cooler.
Good. That's a bad name.
Yeah, the Lucha Stars was embarrassing. That's like 2010s Vince level, you know. But yeah, man, shout out to Commander and Hologram. Rob, go to the next super chat.
All right, Roman got a lock-in can't cool lip. You did this one, right?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Again, I'm not trying to. I'm really. People have this belief that I hate Roman Reigns. Oh, that does look pretty awesome. People have this belief that I hate Roman Reigns, and I truly don't. And in actuality, I really hope that he can push himself on some level and just be interesting again. And I hope that this week's TV segment with him and CM Punk is interesting. That's all I hope. I hope it's interesting. And I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't feel like relitigating this. Thank you, Duce.
All right. Nate, $355. Knicks is so trash they have Tracy Morgan throwing up on the court. Yo, y'all see that shit?
I did not.
Yeah, Thank you, Nate. That nigga shoot puked all over the court floor, bro. It's crazy.
Thank you, Nate. Dame, $4.99. Love Bianca, but can y'all explain to me why people are obsessed with this Mania streak? She's 4-0 at Mania. It won't hurt her to take it on Mania. Nah, let's bring that to 5, baby. We bringing that to 5.
we breaking Taker's record.
We're gonna break Undertaker's record. 2011 Mason Ryan.
This is nasty. Don't go that far.
Yo, don't let me start because I won't stop.
Mason Ryan looked comically similar to Batista. It was so fucking funny.
Hey, y'all notice how WWF beat WCW when Brett left? I'm just saying, y'all.
Ryan Tashini, $6.99. Suri has spoken multiple times on learning how to train safely and with weights in the WWE. I'm sure she's brought that knowledge to Japan. She's just a beast in general.
Yeah. Carry on Gordon, $1.99. Also the major push of Megan Bayne by AEW.
I like Megan Bayne. I think she has a super striking look. I like when wrestling companies just pick somebody and go in a direction with conviction. And so if that's what they're doing with Megan and they're going to really, really do it seriously, like she attacked Toni Storm, I respect that. Do I believe in Megan Bayne at that level yet? I remain unconvinced and I'm waiting to see. Because it still feels like she's kind of like playing a part at the moment, but the physical tools are there. The look is awesome and her work is pretty sick. I really like her stuff so far in the TV matches that I've seen. So I have no real complaints. I just want to see the next stages in development, and that's I'd imagine that's something that'll come. So
yeah,
a thumbs up. What's up, Joe?
Yeah, we're on the same page for that. I think it is too, because of the reasons you just mapped out. I do think it's too soon for winning the belt. But I think the feud existing are always like a real good sign of vote of confidence.
Yeah.
And I think you'll leave this with a better idea. To me, anyway. I think it's too soon for them the belt.
Mm-hmm. Mid take 0499. I need a share doc on this period of wrestling because you can't tell the story of one company without the other, and they need to work together for that. If mid takes is referring to WWE and AEW, then that is kind of fascinating, Joe. How like where the companies trended kind of are affected at least on some part by the other ones, or certain transactions or things that took place in the business. It's just an
Very
interesting
much.
thing. It's just an
Yeah,
interesting
very
thing.
much.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a segment tomorrow on my solo show about like the weekend of Clash at the Castle and All Out 2022.
It's crazy looking back. Yeah.
Yeah. That will be a significant part of whatever documentary or book.
You know what's funny is I remember reading. That's when I used to read the Observers in full, and I remember like even though like I don't think the quality gap in those shows was that stark at all. Dave on that Observer, like the way he talked about it, he basically like the vibes were completely different, and Dave was talking about it, and he was like, "Man, this is another company that I can't believe they put out a show this good," da da da. And then the other place, he was just kind of like, "I don't know what's going on," and like it just kind of indicated where we were at that time with some of the extracurricular stuff.
This is the last one.
Hell yeah. Black Yakuzu, 94, $5. Do you have a feeling that the world title match at Dynasty is going to be a three-way? It feels that way to me. People are suggesting this, and I want to punch them in the face. What do you like? Why do people think this? Surely this isn't like a thing that's going to happen. There's no way.
Because Ibu. I didn't get pinned, Ibu.
There's just no way, right?
I don't see it at all.
There's no way. To me, it feels like Mox is going to definitively end Cope here. It'll be like the last big Death Riders heat finish, with the idea being that Swerve is going to be the savior that'll rid us of this misery. That's what I interpret it as. There's just no way.
Do you think that's where it's going now? You think Swerve's actually going to get it done?
Oh, I don't know.
Right.
What I'll say is I do think there are people in AEW pushing for it. Absolutely. There are people in AEW that have pitched for Swerve to go over. Where that stands with Tony, who the buck does always stop with, I'm not sure. And they're now keeping it very close to the vest, the result of Dynasty.
I'm starting to believe it may happen. Maybe it's optimism. I don't know.
I'll say this. I don't think it's going to happen, but I do think we're now at a point where it is absolutely a possibility that's like higher than like a just an unlikely chance, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So, man, if you're somebody that wants Swerve to win this belt, man, AEW is a promotion that reads what you say, and I would be very vocal about Swerve. If I'm you on social media, I'm talking to everybody in the audience. I would make that very known. I think it's hanging in the balance. Thank you, Black Yakuzu. And thank you to Joe Holbert and Rob. This show went a bit long. And I typically get tired after 2.5 hours. But I thought this ended up being a very good stream, to be honest with you. So I don't know when I'll be back. But I do want to say to everybody that showed up, to all 400 plus you guys, thank you. Honestly, like legitimately, thank you. Thank you for supporting me still. And showing out and being fans and everything. It means a ton to me. The people that show me love in the Discord, you guys are the fucking man. You guys are the best. All the men and women in there. So thank you to the self-maders and thank you to the WrestlePurist audience. So I don't know when I'll be back, but I'll tell you this: I will be back. I will be back. And you'll see me with familiar faces, and we'll talk pro wrestling the same way we did today. And I hope you guys had as much fun listening to this as I had taking part in it. So thank you guys. Joe, where can the people find you?
Well, on the infamous X Everything app, I tried to do that sincerely, couldn't do it, my bad. At Joe Holbert over there. I don't really post much about wrestling. I guess I kind of do, just sort of still images mostly, right? Bits, things of that nature. But the main thing, folks, is Late Night Grin. LNG Gold in particular, as I said, even when I did some business last night. And next week, sometime next week, he was going to be my guest on Full Sail Behind. We're going to look at some NXT from 2015. So
Can you tell me what month it was again? I was telling the guys in Self-Made about this, but I
it was
couldn't start because I forgot what month it was.
it was March.
There we go.
I'll give you the drive link again in a minute. But
Thank you.
yeah, that's what's coming up. And I think later this week we have the LNG Hall of Fame this Friday. LNG Hall of Fame, folks. So big business ahead. This was very, very fun, fellas. Good times.
Absolutely. Rob, talk to the people. Where can they find you?
Of course, you can find me right here in the name. It's Twitch. I'm going to be on there watching NXT tomorrow. I was on there watching Raw earlier today. I'll be on there probably watching Friday, since probably watching SmackDown, or since it's going to be early Friday. And Punk Roman and Seth is going to be there. Then I'll be back there next Monday night. And tomorrow, I'll be doing the Raw review. Excuse me, later time, 4:30 Eastern, with Peach and Jana, and probably a fourth person. So make sure y'all tune into the Raw review, where we will actually get into and go in depth on the Cena segment a lot more than we did tonight. But
I thought we went pretty fucking in depth tonight. What are you talking about?
Yo,
what the fuck?
No, I'm spending 45
How
minutes.
much deeper can we fucking get?
I'm spending an hour on this, brother.
What the hell?
That's just good promo, man. You got to respect it.
I looked up. I was like, wait, what?
Oh no, you got. I'm spending an hour on this, brother.
What else did I fucking say?
No, but in all seriousness, I'll be there tomorrow doing that. So 4:30 Eastern. Make sure y'all lock that in. And Thursday is Dynamite review. Myself, Crystal Bread, Novi, and Marcus.
Hell yeah!
So make sure y'all tune into that.
Folks, this was a lot of fun. If you want to look for me, at Self-Made PW on Twitter, there's a link in the bio to the Patreon, and if you join that at a $5 entry price, you will be in the Self-Made Discord. And what you will find when you get there is there's Patreon content, recorded podcast content, and you can always find me in there. You can ping me, and I'm typically doing spaces, or I'm watching pro wrestling or TV shows or anime in the Discord. So easy access to me.
Tonight.
I won't be in there tonight, but I'm typically in there pretty often. So Self-Made is where you can find
shit.
Generally speaking. And yeah, so that's it for we
will be watching WCW Thunder, and we will be continuing the Wheel of WrestleMania, where we pick a WrestleMania, put all the matches on the wheel, and we spin it and pick them, and the match that we get, we put on the spreadsheet. So make sure y'all tune into that. We're watching WCW Thunder, the Thunder after Great American Bash 1999. So make sure y'all tune into that tonight.
Jesus Christ. Well, folks, I hope that was a ringing endorsement and hard sell there of the Self-Made. I'll see you guys around. Love you guys. Have a good one. Take care.
Shout out Sid. Real